Chapter 221 Ghost. What the hell? Yi Tianxing turned his head to look, and suddenly, a figure appeared very elusive in the air, floating in the air. The figure was a woman, but the 10 fingers became slender, the nails looked like a dagger. What's the difference? Read the latest chapter if it is not for armor. I was just afraid that the sharp claws had just fallen on the body, and the chilling air emanating from it made people shudder. The outbreak of the attack was met by the monk in the Shanghai realm, enough to be pierced through her back by a claw, and pulled out her heart. The cold air was terrible. Especially the body has no entity at all and is in a weird state of imagination. It is similar to Li Gui, but it is more embarrassing than Li Gui. It seems that it has no weight but contains a strange atmosphere. This is a spirit body. Spirit, ghost, there is a ghost in this misty swamp. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath, and his long experience allowed him to recognize what was in front of him immediately. This is the ghost at all. The ghost is a unique soul. Similar to Li Gui, but different. Li Gui is the soul of the human body after the body dies. If the ghost is condensed, it contains its own will and body. Being able to cultivate can be said to be a race. Ghosts are similar to ghosts in nature, but they are not ordinary ghosts, but gather a large number of soul fragments by obsession. The birth of the unique undead, this obsession is the essence of the existence of the ghost. The ghost is very difficult to kill, because the obsession in their body makes them nearly immortal. The body is an illusion. Generally attacking, it is difficult to harm the ghost. Instead, if the ghost pounces on the body, it will devour flesh and blood. Perseverance is hard to kill. The attack speed is extremely fast, and the figure is like a ghost. Silent and silent, once grown up, it will be quite scary. If you deal with others, the ghost can produce unexpected surprises, but for me, even if it is a ghost, it is a dish that comes to me. Yi Tianxing's eyes flashed a light, his heart was full of excitement. He's not afraid of ghosts. He started from scratching ghosts and ghosts. Where can I be afraid of ghosts? Yin and Yang lock, suppress me. With a break in my heart, a black and white yin and yang lock has appeared in the void, entwining like a ghost snake toward the seemingly unreal female ghost. Between the dancing, a crisp sound passed from the iron chain. The sound fell to the monk's ears, but fell into the ghost's ears, but the ghost's face showed the color of fear, and the whole body seemed to be shaking. What? There was a sharp scream in his mouth. In this scream, a layer of intangible fluctuations instantly occurred. It got into my mind, and even my mind was moving. Expensive. However, there was a dragon chanting echoing directly in the body, suppressing the soul impact. Brush. The yin and yang lock appeared as fast as lightning, and immediately tied up. The ghost that looked illusory, in front of the yin and yang lock, had no ability to escape, even the illusory body was bound by the yin and yang lock. The ghost wanted to walk away, but was bound by the ***** beam that bloomed in the yin and yang lock, and blue smoke was emitted from his body. Just as snowflakes were burned by the sun, no matter how they struggled, they were forcibly pulled into the eyes of yin and yang. Click. As soon as it entered the yin and yang space, it was ingested and repressed on the yin and yang ***** picture. The ***** picture was like a big mill. Between rotations, the yin and yang twitched. Each time it turned, the ghost made a scream of screams, a trace of its origin. Deprived, ingested into the divine figure, part of it merged into the divine figure, and part of it became yin and yang air, converging in the yin and yang space. Dabu. Feeling the joy transmitted from the yin and yang eyes, Yi Tianxing took a deep breath, and gave out a sigh of admiration. When a ghost is refined, the origin of the innate yin and yang ***** picture becomes more abundant, and the feeling that the supernatural power is about to be born is stronger. Swipe. However, the female ghost seemed to be a precursor. After being suppressed, the yin and yang eyes glanced and immediately saw that in the swamp below, invisible and transparent figures came out one after another. These ghosts are more than just humans. There are also various ghosts that look like beasts. Cricket crocodile, scary bird, fierce monster. The appearance of the ghosts exudes thick malice, and their appearance makes the temperature in the entire misty swamp begin to drop suddenly, seemingly cold. Come here, so many ghosts are simply a delicious meal. With so many ghosts, I can completely transform the congenital yin and yang eyes again. A new magical power is born. When Yi Tianxing saw it, he was not surprised. This is a delicious meal delivered to your door. Yin and yang lock, yin and yang ring, suppress me. Wow, 9 yin and yang locks appeared at the same time in the void outside of her body. All the yin and yang locks were disintegrated and turned into black and white yin and yang rings, and passed towards the surrounding ghosts. The yin and yang ring contains spirituality, and a ghost is immediately placed inside it. Ding ding ding. But then, the ghosts suppressed by the yin and yang rings rioted, and the strange power broke the yin and yang rings hard. Broken into pieces. The power in the yin and yang ring is obviously no way to suppress these ghosts. There is no way for a yin and yang ring to completely suppress these ghosts, and none of them are weak. However, one cannot be suppressed. The 2, 3, and 4. Frowning slightly, the broken yin and yang rings are nothing. Suddenly, Juin yin and yang locks reappeared, but they were not suppressed by the complete yin and yang locks. Decomposed into yin and yang rings again. Suppressed again. However, this time, each ghost was suppressed by several yin and yang rings. Ding ding ding. One was put on the head, but the power in the ghost's body hit the yin and yang ring again, and the yin and yang ring was broken again. Immediately, the second yin and yang ring was put on again. Suddenly, the pressure from the ghosts was suddenly reduced greatly. There is still no way to completely suppress it. Third, fourth, the fifth one. It was not until the fifth yin and yang ring was suppressed that a ghost was completely suppressed. It was suppressed by the force of yin and yang in the yin and yang ring, and the sound of crickets was emitted from the body. Suppression, the power of the sun, constantly destroys the evil spirit of the ghost. Let it suffer amazing pain. The yin and yang ring quickly entered the yin and yang space with the repressed ghost. Once in, it was completely suppressed. These ghosts are equivalent to the realm of the 7th and 7th of Shanghai, but their strength is weird. However, they still cannot escape the fate restrained by my congenital yin and yang eyes. Give me tong tong into food. These ghost powers can be said to be quite strange. For example, a ghost like a mouse can display the magical powers of a rat's eyes. There is a crocodile, which is extremely powerful and amazingly fast, like lightning, hidden in the dark, and it is definitely the most terrible killer in the dark. When many ghosts saw Yi Tianxing, they started to kill them. It seems that instinct has a mission to kill any creature that enters the misty swamp. Unfortunately, innate yin and yang eyes can not only see all their movements, but also have supernatural powers to completely restrain them. A ghost was continuously suppressed and ingested into the eyes of yin and yang. Enhance the origin of yin-yang fate. This ever-increasing feeling makes Yi Tianxing also have a strong sense of pleasure. Extremely smooth. No matter what kind of demon monster, let this palace die. Suddenly suppressing the ghosts and turning them into data to strengthen themselves, suddenly, a scolding sound suddenly sounded in the ear. Well, it's her. Look at it. I only saw a woman in a white palace dress stepping on the moonlight butterflies back and flying forward. However, the situation outside is not optimistic. As you can see, a ghost keeps rushing towards her. A layer of moonlight blooms on the moonlight butterfly, turning into a shield, and trying to block the ghosts out, but those ghosts did not evade at all, but flew directly to the moonlight shield, desperately absorbed the moonlight. It seems that it is supremely delicious. Peerless meal. There were no less than dozens of them lying on the shield. Zhao Yu stood on it, with a touch of anger in her eyes, looking at those transparent ghosts. Sword out. But when it fell on the ghost, it just tore a sword mark and a hole in the ghost, and it was restored as before. It seemed that there was no damage. Those ghosts seem difficult to be killed. Even if you swipe across your neck, nothing will happen. Still jumping around. Lie on the moonlight to absorb Yuehua. The aura of the moonlight butterfly is dim at a speed that is visible to the naked eye. What to do? I didn't expect that these ghost-like things are so difficult to entangle. I am a self-cultivator, but I can't kill the ghosts. My life skills and magic powers don't know if I can harm these ghosts. Zhao Yu took a deep breath, and between the eyebrows, a trace of the remnant moon flickered. A coercion naturally emerged. Suppression. Just as Yueyu planned to use his magical powers, a chorus sounded in the fog. Immediately following, www.novelhall.com, I saw that black and white rings of yin and yang appeared, and the ghost lying on the moonlight hood quickly suppressed and suppressed. Suddenly, he disappeared into the mist. These are ghosts that can absorb the moonlight and strengthen your strength. You let the moonlight butterfly open the shield, and you are telling the ghosts around you, this is a delicious meal, let them hurry up and eat them. Better than that. Quote. A voice sounded in the ears of Yueyu. Disciple, it's you. Yueyu heard it and reacted almost immediately. Yi Tianxing's voice could never be forgotten in her life. When the voice fell, I didn't even want to, just cut it in the direction of the sound. Unfortunately, she couldn't see anything far away in the fog, and Yi Tianxing had already left her place. This sword is doomed to return. To be continued. Chapter 222 AA 1/4 A Yin Yang Mirror. For subscription recommendation, come for a monthly pass. Full text reading. Yuyu, here, you are not my opponent. The gas is poisonous, and ghosts contain ghosts. These ghosts are afraid of the power of the solitary sun. It is not a good thing that Yugong entangles with these ghosts. It has a huge appeal. Here you are a beacon in the dark. If you don't leave as soon as possible, you will be drowned out by a large number of ghosts. Quote. Yi Tianxing has already changed positions, he doesn't want to play against Yuyu. With so many ghosts around, if you don't hurry up and plunder and devour as much as possible, it will be a violent heavenly thing. It's even more important that nothing improves your strength. Well, who wants you to come and save? Some ghosts and ghosts, how can I rarely invite me to the moon? When Yuyu heard it, a stubbornness suddenly appeared in her heart, and she didn't even want to think about it. The crescent mark between the eyebrows glowed brightly. A meniscus-shaped blade appeared in front of him instantly. It was not like a blade at all, but a perfect moon, a waning moon, a new moon. Let people see, pleasing. In the blade, there is a cool rhythm. All of a sudden, it was illuminated. The fog cannot hide the light of this moon blade. Mingyu Mingchao Moon Precision Wheel. Brush. The moon refinement wheel slashed towards a ghost like lightning. The speed is so fast that it is difficult to prevent it from capturing its trajectory. How fast is the moonlight speed and how fast is the moon refinement wheel? Only one moonlight can be seen. Flashed. The ghost has been cut off. At the same time of cutting, it can be seen that the broken body of the ghost can't heal at all, and the body is immediately covered by a layer of cold ice crystals, which falls on the ground and directly breaks. And as the ghost shattered and fell, in situ, a tiny crystal the size of the thumbnails appeared strangely, exuding snow-white light, crystal clear, and a trace of coldness flowing. What is this? When Yueyu's eyes lighted, she immediately took the tiny crystal into her hand. Once in his hands, he instinctively wanted to absorb and refine it. And Yueyu did exactly that. Put it to your mouth, swallow it in your mouth, and include it in your mouth. The Mingyu Junjing, in your body, naturally, in this crystal, a mysterious essence quickly penetrates into your body. Immediately, an indescribable coolness and comfort was transmitted in the body. At this moment, his own soul was transformed, and the soul was growing. The mysterious and fulfilling feeling reverberated in the mind and sent a moan from the soul. The soul, in the body, is nihilistic, but it is also real. However, it is difficult to condense the soul out of nothingness when it is cultivated to a low level, which can only be involved in the realm of the law, but the growth of the soul can still be faintly felt. The strength of the soul is more precious to every monk than any other practice. The soul is strong, it can resist the invasion of external evils, and can more clearly understand various techniques and skills. Its own understanding will increase, and it will be faster to cultivate anything than ordinary people. More energetic, even stronger mental strength, longer time for imagination. When practicing, you can do more with less. It can be said that there are many benefits and it is difficult to estimate. A person with a strong soul is blessed in every respect. The benefits are endless. Yu Jing, these ghosts will actually gather Yu Jing in your body after death, which will strengthen your soul. This is a rare treasure. Yueyu recovered, a touch of light flashed in her eyes, and her heart gave endless joy. The pleasure from the soul makes the body and mind extremely smooth. It's really wonderful. Moonlight butterfly. With a break in my heart, the moon was invited to let the moonlight butterfly emit a soft moonlight again. Seeing the moonlight, the ghosts around him were as crazy as seeing the supreme meal again, madly rushing towards the invited moon. After the ghost has fallen, ghosts will condense. That should be the essence of the ghost's body, like the inner Dan of the demon. Zhao Yu really has the ability to hunt ghosts. But even if you can hunt ghosts, finding directions in the fog, the ghosts go forward and follow. Once the vital energy in the body is exhausted, and the power in the moonlight butterfly is absorbed, it is not a good thing. Quote. Yi Tianxing groaned secretly when he saw the move to invite the ghost to hunt the ghost. It is extremely expensive to display the magical power of life. Generally speaking, it is difficult to support it. It can be supported for a short time, but once you cannot find a way out in the misty swamp, it will really fall completely into the swamp. Yujing is important, but life is more important. Yi Tianxing had already made a decision in his heart. There was no hesitation, and the yin and yang rings flew out again, appearing near the moonlight butterfly, suppressing a group of ghosts again. Get involved in the mist. Suppression in yin and yang space. The surname is Yi, how dare you rob me? This palace is with you. Yu saw that her face changed, and it was very ugly. Yi Tianxing's move is undoubtedly robbing her of advantages and opportunities. I wasn't sure if I could deal with ghosts before. Now I must be sure that I can deal with ghosts, and an instant of anger in my heart. The moonlight butterfly was urged to chase after the yin and yang ring disappeared. At the same time, the moon spirit wheel kept flashing, forcibly killing the ghosts in front of them, and each ghost of different sizes was quickly collected into the hands. However, no matter how fast the moon is invited, there is no way to see Yi Tianxing. Over and over again, the anger in Yu's heart grew stronger. Don't let me find you, otherwise, you must let me know how powerful I am to invite moon. First of all, to take advantage of me, and now the opportunity, this feud is endless. Inviting Yu secretly hummed. But I do not know, under this repeated pursuit, she has reached the edge of the misty swamp. Going forward, you can step out of the misty swamp. Okay, the number of ghosts hunted this time is very large, and each statue is a big piece of food. The congenital yin and yang eyes are finally going to transform again. Yi Tianxing stood on Jin Peng's body, with a strong joy in his eyes. In the eyes, black and white light flows. Yin and yang space. The innate yin and yang divine figure of the size of Zhouzhang burst into endless black and white divine light, the yin and yang too agitated, and the divine figure began to swell violently. With the rapid expansion outward, the divine figure is becoming larger, and the entire yin and yang space is also becoming larger and expanding. There is a lot of space in each breathing room. Seems like a moment, it seems to be a longer time in the past. When the yin and yang divine light in the yin and yang space has completely calmed down, the size of the entire space has undergone an amazing transformation. The original size is 9 feet, and it has become 80 feet. However, this transformation has made the pair of inborn yin and yang images that have become extremely incomparable to the 9 greats seem a bit illusory. The original accumulated source has already been consumed in the process. But in the future, it can accommodate more origins. At the same time, above the innate yin and yang picture, 9 yin and yang locks, and a handle of yin and yang scissors, once again appeared an object. That is a treasure mirror. This treasure mirror, black and white changing, flashing mysterious Dao Yun. The third innate yin and yang eye sent a knot of the yin and yang mirror. It turned out to be this magical power. Yi Tianxing also knew the magical power of this ancient mirror for the first time. It was very overbearing. It was named Yin-Yang Mirror. The black side shined on the living beings, and then it would immediately die. Only the white side of Yin-Yang Mirror shone again. To be resurrected. Die while you live. Able to emit the light of life and death. This is a terrible magical power that directly frightens the soul. To the extreme, even if the power is illuminated by the light of God, it will die on the spot. This supernatural power can be said to be the ultimate rhyme of life and death. Moreover, yin and yang mirrors, yin is the most yin, contains death, yang is the most yang, contains vitality. But the sun is the most terrible deadly light to the evil spirits, and undead. If this supernatural power is cultivated to the extreme, it will definitely not be inferior or even more mysterious than the yin and yang scissors. The congenital yin and yang eyes are congenital destiny, and the supernatural powers bred from them are congenital supernatural powers. In the same rank magic power, the innate magic power is stronger. Born to win. Good fortune, I did not expect that the magical powers that were bred this time were yin and yang mirrors. In this way, it is easier to deal with these ghosts. Today, the innate yin and yang maps are completely consumed, and a lot of ghosts are needed to fill them. Try the yin and yang mirror's first power. Yi Tianxing secretly gave birth to a trace of ecstasy. The black and white light flickered in his eyes, and suddenly, looking towards the invite moon not far away, a lot of ghosts appeared again near the invite moon. That moonlight butterfly's appeal to ghosts is too great. Even if it is the invitation to Yumingmingshu magical powers to kill the ghost, but every time you cast, it also takes a lot of infuriating, this killing, it consumes most of it. The supernatural powers of that apprentice just happened to restrain these ghosts, but, one after another, I was afraid that the consumption itself would also be extremely huge. I do not know how big this misty swamp is. I see not see the direction at all. How to get out? A sent A not A. A large number of ghosts got their hands on it, and Yuyu naturally did not want to continue to stay in this misty swamp. To resist the suffocation around him, it took a lot of real energy. Brush. Secretly from the groin room, www.novelhall.com, you can see that a white asterisk light suddenly shot out from the mist. In a flash, this asterisk covered a dozen ghosts outside him. Roar. What? Shined by white asterisk light. Suddenly, those ghosts screams in horror, screaming in midair, exuding black gas on their bodies, as if they were snowflakes in summer, and melted at a speed visible to the naked eye. Instantly vanished. Only one piece of spirits of different sizes was left. Can feel a strong sun power in white light. Disciple, it's you again, what a magical power this is. There was a horror in Zhao Yu's heart. I did not expect Yi Tianxing to have this powerful whole card. In the presence of the white asterisk light, the ghost was easily killed without any resistance. To be continued. Chapter 223 AA 1/4 A Lu Bi Yu Li Yuanba. That white divine light is simply a ghost's natural enemy. Read the latest chapter. Under the light, it instantly melts. It's so overbearing. Dentist, you come out, hide, what a man. Don't let this palace look down on you. Inviting Yuyu to wave and collect all the spirits scattered around him, and uttered a coquettish drink. Zhang is useless to me, is it a man? If you are willing, I will let you know that I am still a man. Yi Tianxing heard it with a smile. Don't want to meet this woman now. Once you see it, it will definitely kill you. The light of life and death derived from the yin and yang mirror, the yin and yang light, are extremely restrained from the ghosts and demons. Once irradiated by the light, they will quickly dissolve and fly away completely. Only one sperm can be left. The sperm can strengthen the source of the soul in the monk's body. The two benefit from each other. This time, the power of the yin-yang mirror was very satisfied with this power. The yang faces yin, the yin faces life. Life and death change. Mysterious is okay. However, now the yin and yang mirrors can't make people instantly die, but the potential is endless. Sooner or later, one day, you can decide between life and death. Although Yu Jing is not bad, it is more important to enhance the origin of innate yin and yang eyes. Instead of using the yin and yang mirrors, the yin and yang locks were displayed again, turning into yin and yang rings, suppressing the surrounding ghosts, confining them into the yin and yang space, quickly suppressing the refining, and turning them into the innate origin of the yin and yang life. Strengthen yourself. At the same time, the three innate magical powers bred from cultivating. Yin-yang mirror will serve as a whole card in the hand, which can play a role in turning the sky at a critical moment. Already on the edge of the misty swamp, Yi Tianxing did not intend to leave easily. The ghost here is a great fortune to himself. Any treasure is external, but the magical power of life belongs to himself. Don't go. The power truly under your control. Naturally, it is the most important thing to enhance your life as much as possible. It doesn't matter if you are overtaken by others now, you can catch up in the rest of the time. But if I miss such an opportunity, I don't know how long it will take to meet such a huge ghost. Don't try to get as many benefits as possible, that is an idiot. The yin and yang rings danced in the fog, quickly catching the detained ghosts. With the congenital yin and yang eyes transformed again, the power of these yin and yang rings becomes more powerful. Suppressing the surrounding ghosts makes it easier. Ghosts are constantly flowing into the eyes of yin and yang. The original emptiness of the yin and yang eyes is rapidly recovering. Disciple, where are you? Invited by Yi Tianxing once again, Yuyu rushed out of the misty swamp and escaped completely. I glanced around, but couldn't even see the shadow of Yi Tianxing. I couldn't help but utter a soft drink, and a complex complexion flashed on my face. With her mind, when she was out of the misty swamp, where would she not understand the real purpose of Yi Tianxing's actions? He stayed in place for a moment, with a snort in his nose. Immediately stepping on the moonlight butterfly, he continued to fly forward. Finally gone, this woman. It is really easy to provoke. Otherwise, it will be a big trouble. Yi Tianxing saw that he was secretly relieved. Focus on hunting ghosts again. For a long time, a golden light flashed in the misty swamp. Jin Peng rushed out of the misty swamp with Yi Tianxing. This hunt will kill, suppress and devour all nearby ghosts. Turn it into its own use. In the misty swamp, it can be said that it has transformed its strength again, and its combat power is a little stronger than before. In this martial arts conference, as long as you seize the opportunity, you will be transformed and strengthened. The first martial arts conference will be held so soon, and in this way, it should be a part of the proud to take off opportunity. Of course, it depends on whether you can seize it. Quote. Yi Tianxing thought secretly in his mind. My mind has begun to guess the purpose of this martial arts conference. After all, this is the first time, and it is still held in such a hurry. The participants are almost all monks at the level of Shanghai. Although the disasters on the track are calamities, to a certain extent, they are opportunities. Not only do you get your own benefits, you can imagine that in this, you will definitely get more than just one. Kill, Liu Bu, I have long wanted to compete with you. I heard that you were the first general in the late Han dynasty, called a ghost god, of war. I do not believe you are so powerful. Before I was born, you died. There is no chance to compete, today I must compete with you. Eat me a hammer. Quote. You sick man, where the lunatic came from, hit him with a hammer. If I do not teach you today, I have no other face to go out to meet people. Out of the misty swamp. Moving forward again, my eyes suddenly opened up, and a sea of ocean appeared directly. Obviously, this time the track is the ocean. You have to travel through the ocean. This is a big problem for some mounts that cannot get into the water. What a terrifying power. The two men's cultivation is really terrible. Liu Bu, who is there? Yi Tianxing took a deep breath. When he was close to the sea, he immediately saw that on the sea, two figures were fighting madly and fighting together. The waves hit the sea, and the aftermath of terror stimulated layers of rough seas. A turbulent storm formed. The loud noise that erupted when the weapons collided was as terrifying as thunder. A deafening blast erupted. Moreover, the blood that erupted on his body rose like smoke into the sky. With each strike, there is the power of terror. With a double hammer in his hand, his face is like a sick ghost and his body is as thin as firewood. This looks like the legendary Sui and Tang dynasty's first hero Li Yuanba. This is an invincible general. How did Li Yuanba and Liu Bu fight? Under the eyes of Yi Tianxing, both were clearly visible. Compared with the characters in my mind, I guessed who was killing Liu Bu with the first time. Li Yuanba, this is not an ordinary character. It is the legendary invincible powerhouse. A pair of hammers, one with 400 pounds, weighing a total of 800 pounds, is born with the power of 4 elephants, the force of one elephant is 12,500 kilograms, and the force of 4 elephants is not more than 50,000 kilograms. This is a natural force, and it is horrible. It is comparable to the top practitioner of hiding wooming. Inborn qualifications are terrible. One hammer method has reached the extreme. On the battlefield, it has always been invincible. Liu Bu is also not simple, a peerless war known as a ghost and god. Among the 3 kingdoms, the generals were strong and Liu Bu was invincible, but no one could refute it. A Fangtian painting halberd is almost invincible, that is the power to kill. The same is born of divine power. Both were peerless men of different ages. It was impossible to fight before. Now they collided together, and an unimaginable edge broke out in an instant. Fang Tian's halberd slammed into the hammer with the golden humming hammer. Each strike is lightning fast, and the force can rush the mountain. Ferocious. The two were attacking each other, they did not let go at all, and they fought together crazy. The anger surging, the blood tumbling. Furious. Dao Wu Shuangshou are all practitioners. That majestic qi and blood can almost be concluded that they all have cultivation exercises, and they are extremely superb and profound. Their natural divine qualifications have a unique advantage for refining. It is strange not to follow the path of the cultivator. As for what their bodybuilding methods are, they have no way of knowing it. They can predict it. It is absolutely extraordinary. Well, it really is Liu Bu, pick me, 7 days of hate heaven, hate Zhang restless. Li Yuanba's eyes flashed brightly, riding a big buffalo under him, the golden hammer in his hands bloomed with gold light, and a martial arts truth suddenly broke out. This is the meaning of hammer, a hate of heaven. This hate is unyielding and a question to the heaven. It is the cry from the heart, the roar from all beings. This hate can shake the earth and shake the sun and the moon. The stronger I hate myself, the more powerful and terrifying the power that erupts. The hammer smashed. Even if Yi Tianxing was standing in the distance, he could feel that a martial art really meant to reverberate. In the hammer, there is this monstrous hatred. It can be seen that in a river, the Zhongtao is surging, and the surrounding villages and towns are standing. In the rivers, the wind and waves rolled up and rushed for promotion. The monstrous river turned into ruthless floods, washed down houses, drowned crops, and drowned the people. Turn Liangtian into Wangyang. There are no hundreds of people crying in Yangtian. Hate, 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 hate. The rivers are ruthless, the rivers are restless, why the flood destroyed everything. Destroy hope. The monstrous hatred turns into an infinite power, www.novelhall.com, gathered in the golden hammer, and can almost break the entire world. Let everyone face the ruthless relentless flood. Feel the ruthlessness of the flood for yourself. Li Yuanba has witnessed the flood with his own eyes, and his hatred for the flood is endless. You have the 7 styles of hating the sky, I have the 7 styles of ghosts and gods, pick me a halberd kill thousands of miles. Lu Bu saw that his face was dignified without any fear. He was an undefeated god of war. He had fought countless times in his body. He had gone through the battlefield from an early age. He did not know how many killings he had experienced. He has sharpened himself from repeated killings, and created his own unique halberd, 7 types of ghosts and gods. At that time, the halberd was 10%, and he was invincible. No one can stop the battlefield. The combat power is invincible. Ask yourself, the homemade halberd is definitely not inferior to any combat skills. Firmly believe that in itself is invincible. A towering martial arts realism bloomed on the body, which was the halberd, a blood-sharp air rising to the sky. One can feel that in Fang Tian's painting of halberds, it seems that he can see the blood of the corpses, and he can feel that thousands of troops are killing. Blood flowed on the prairie. To be continued. Chapter 224 AA 1/4 A Death Waterspout. To attend the cousin's wedding, the banquet will be eaten for 3 days. This is the next day, and we will go to marry tomorrow. The update may be unstable. Read the latest chapter. This halberd contains immortality. It was Lu Bu's life on the battlefield, and he realized from the fight with aliens that he condensed the boundless blood of corpses, such as the confrontation between the 2 armies, the vertical and horizontal battlefields, the blood-stained sky. Terrible, fierce to the extreme. Halberd and hammer confronted. The 2 are like ice and flames. Bang bang, martial arts really collided. The sea surface around them was bursting like a million tons of explosives, and a wave of water surged up into the sky, stirring hundreds of thousands of feet. Not only is martial arts really fighting, Fang Tianhua Jiwa waved again and again, sweeping wildly towards Li Yuanba's whole body, but Li Yuanba is also exquisitely hammered, and the huge gold hammer block can cover most of his body. Any shield must come more perfect. In addition, the swinging of the 2 golden hammers was really like a flood, like a broken bamboo, endless, and turned into a rough sea. Power seems endless. Fang Tian's painting halberd is even more terrifying. Don't ask, just do it. Lu Bu is so ferocious. The 2 great peerless warriors are indeed the top peerless generals in the history of China. Lu Bu, Li Yuanba. At the level of He Ding Wuming. In addition, the cultivation in the body is authentic, which brings together more destructive forces. Especially their superb combat skills have realized the true meaning of martial arts. Quote, Yi Tianxing saw and couldn't help taking a deep breath. For them to understand the true meaning of martial arts, but also very powerful, it is not surprising at all, who they are peerless warlords killed from the blood of the corpse mountains, how the formation of combat skills, without him, is inborn in slaughter, transformed in slaughter, existed to kill. How can martial arts people kill more generals on the battlefield? If you kill more pigs, you will be able to practice the peerless swordsmanship techniques like Dingjia Ju Niu. If you cut more firewood, you can also practice peerless swordsmanship. Not to mention killing on the battlefield and staining thousands of blood. Even an idiot can develop top killing skills, let alone a peerless general. Their methods of fighting were wide open, but they were arrogant and condensed the true meaning of martial arts. The power is more terrifying than most combat skills. If you let those former rivers and lakes knights fight with Li Yuanba with swordsmanship, the sledgehammer will be smashed into a flesh when they block and smash. This is a purely combat technique for killing. There is no fancy action, all the purpose is only one, and that is killing. Kill the opponent as fast as possible. 7 types of ghosts and gods and 7 types of hate heaven, are 2 peerless combat techniques. Moreover, they were all created by Lu Bu and Li Yuanba. No one in the world can match them. Fan, quote. The bronze spear in Yi Tianxing's hands was shaking, and the war in his heart was boiling. The peerless battle will almost ignite the blood in the human body and let the blood begin to boil, but at this time, I really want to get involved, even if he does not have the confidence to retreat from the whole body. What kind of powerful whole cards you have? Winning the game is the most critical thing. Kill, okay, you are a sick ghost. I didn't expect that the power was so great that I was worthy of Lu Bu's opponent. At this level, the top warriors are now fighting, and naturally they are getting more excited. Your Lu Bu didn't really get a bad name. I hate the sky in 7 styles. I have never been able to stop my golden hammer. Even my hammer dare not take it. Only you dare to take my hammer. Happy, really happy, come again. Li Yuanba laughed with excitement. A pair of eyes are shining. Carrying the golden hammer and killing Lu Bu again. Lu Bu also did not fear, and patted the Pegasus under him. Just greeted. In the fight, keep moving, and also move forward. Wherever they went, the entire sea surface was constantly roaring, and layers of huge waves swept the square, and countless swirls were stirred. The people watching were startling. Yi Tianxing also walked across the sea. Rumble. Just as I walked by, all of a sudden, the sky was covered with clouds, countless clouds rolled, and a hurricane blew over. That picture was quite scary, the sky was bleak, and the storm and rain burst suddenly. It was almost impossible to reach 5 fingers. Another disaster, what a disaster. When Yi Tianxing saw the huge storm covering the heavens and the earth, he could not help revealing a dignified color. This horrible climate gives people a strong sense of suffocation and endless pressure. It's like a haze. Rumble. There was a flash of thunder in the storm, a strong wind came, and a powerful threat came to mind. Huge wind blades swept through the wind. The wind blade was terrible, turning into a wind knife, a wind gun, a wind sword, etc., all kinds of soldier blades. It seems like countless enemies are attacking themselves in the wind. Severe pain in the body in the wind. Ding ding ding. Zanjia's fate, the black battle armor has covered the whole body. The war spear waved in his hand, and one spear kept waving outward. Every spear waved, a clear sound came in the void, and a wind blade wind soldier hidden in the violent wind was blocked and directly defeated. Each spear was swung straight. But the speed of the wave was extremely amazing, almost dozens of hundreds of spears were waved in an instant, so that suddenly, outside of Yi Tianxing, a handle spear of war spear appeared, and even lasted. It's not just about speed, it's about its power. Almost every second, hundreds of thousands of attacks from the wind. The power contained in the wind blade is terrible. The sharp edge is extremely sharp. To resist, almost all the spirits must be brought together. Each hit is fast and accurate, and it is played to the extreme. In this process, each time you swipe a spear, you gain a deeper understanding of the spear technique, and each additional insight enhances the spear in the spear truth in the body and increases it by 1 point. Fighting in adversity is a powerful exercise for your own combat skills. The war spear suddenly changed. There seemed to be a unique aura in the war spear. It was a fiery, violent breath. Broken jade spear method. Red jade burns as the sun burns. This spear, like the glorious day, emits an endless flame and burns the fairy god. Violent and unyielding, even if the Immortal is standing in front, he will burn it with a war spear in his hand. Fight. The war spears danced, and you can see that red war spears flashed out of the body, enveloping Yi Tianxing's body in the center, and if there was a flower of flame blooming around, in a flash, the 981 war broke out. Spear. Like the sunflower, cover the whole body in vain. In the spear, there are spears intended to flourish, but they are not really condensed, but after all, they are broken jade spears. They are urged by the broken jade spears to make it easier to understand the spear in this type of war spear. Immediately after the show, there was a faint touch of spear that belonged to this type of spear. Ding ding ding, the wind blades shattered under the spear. Even the wind was blowing flames, and there were even more fiery signs. Lu Bu and Li Yuanba were also in the storm, and had to stop fighting. They waved their weapons and fought with the endless wind blade hidden in the storm. So strong suction, there are vortices below. What a weird whirlpool, how can the suction power be so great? Even my Pegasus must be sucked in. Right in the fight, the storm is getting more and more intense, and in the sea, suddenly there are horror swirls, one after another. When the swirls rotate, they emit an extremely strong phasic force, pulling everything above them. Rumble. Without waiting for the strain, you can see that countless seawater rolled up from the sea. Turned into a waterspout in midair. Soaring into the sky, it really looks like a terrible water dragon. Not good. Yi Tianxing saw that in his heart. He secretly said that he was not good and wanted to avoid, but he was sucked into the body by the vortex below, unable to move. A waterspout rolled in front of you, and the whole body, along with Jin Peng, was drawn into the waterspout. After entering, in the waterspout, I desperately held my body, but was still turned by the waterspout with madness. If it was not bad, and the flesh was strong, such scrolling, just ordinary people, would be immediately rolled fainting past. It is impossible to stay awake. Even so, her body was crooked and uncontrollable. The power of the storm is contained in the waterspout, just like the real horrific disaster. In it, even monks can't compete. It's hard to break the waterspout. Only when the power of the waterspout begins to fade can it be broken. This time I'm in trouble. The previous disasters can be controlled by the body, www.novelhall.com, even if it is more dangerous, you can calmly cope. The body is difficult to control, and any danger can have a fatal threat to itself. Quote, Yi Tianxing gave birth to a bitterness. This is like a fight. One is drunk and the other is sober. The other is sober, fighting together. Whoever wins, you can think of it with your toes. There is absolutely no resistance. In this case, things that are usually not dangerous can become a deadly threat. The dangers are hundreds of times greater. And at this time, suddenly, there was a strong smell in the nose. It was a kind of evil spirit, a strong ferocity. What? Yi Tianxing opened his eyes and quickly glanced at the surrounding waterspouts. He was in the water flow, even if the body was constantly flipping, he could not block the sight of the congenital yin and yang eyes. To be continued. Chapter 225 AA 1/4 A Killing in the Water. Piranha. It was recognized at a glance that a large number of piranhas appeared in the waterspout. These piranhas were quite huge. They could bite off an adult's arm directly, swallow it down, and scoop them into bones. Absolutely. Within a few minutes, if you swarmed up, you would even run out of light in the blink of an eye. Read the latest chapter. That sharp tooth. Make people secretly tremble. The piranha is not terrible. With the practice of Yi Tianxing, it is really necessary to face it. Any finger can completely poke the piranha to death, grind it into flesh, and even dregs will not be left, bursting into blood mist fragments. But now when the body is out of control, it is absolutely dangerous to face the overwhelming piranha. The piranhas here are even bigger than the piranhas we saw in the river next to Xuanwang town. You can even see that the piranha's sharp fangs shimmered with cold light, mouth opened, and sawtooth-like. It makes people secretly fear. In particular, it can be seen that these piranhas are not affected at all in the waterspout, as if in a river, swimming freely, one by one, fiercely fierce. This is a hunter in the water. Piranha eyes are blood red. This is a characteristic of bloodthirsty. Brush. These piranhas are extremely fast in waterspouts. It can even be said that it is almost astonishing. Seeing Yi Tianxing is just like seeing one of the most delicious peerless food, without hesitating to kill the past. Not only him, but Jin Peng is no exception. However, Jin Peng had been separated from Yi Tianxing, and had been scattered in the waterspout. Part of the piranhas slaughtered towards Jin Peng, and part of them killed towards Yi Tianxing. Densely packed. At first glance, all were blood-red eyes, letting people see, there was a chilling feeling. Xuanjia Mingqiao. Almost immediately, Yi Tianxing did not hesitate to open the Xuanjia Mingqiao, a battle armor covered the body again, showing a layer of divine light. Click. A piranha slayed fiercely, and opened his mouth to bite Yi Tianxing's arm directly. With this bite, sharp teeth can be seen, but biting on the arm, the warframe naturally bloomed with a layer of light, and a huge force burst out from the warframe. With a crisp sound, the dense teeth in the piranha's mouth suddenly broke completely. Broken and broken, dead. Even if the body is out of control, but the piranha bites on the body, it can also respond, and the blood that burst from the flesh will instantly shake the piranha into a mist of blood. Immediately, a large number of piranhas came over and swallowed up the blood mist. There is no such thing as an inedible nature. So cruel. These piranhas didn't have any fear, and they rushed towards Yi Tianxing to kill them. Just in a blink of an eye, the dense piranha completely drowned his entire body. After approaching, it was a bite. Align your arms, legs, chest, neck, and head. Everywhere, crazy bites. Bang bang. Even if Yi Tianxing couldn't control the movements of the body, even if these piranhas bite, they still did not give these piranhas any benefit. The instinctual power of flesh and blood in the body shook those piranhas into blood mist. As long as it bit him, it was the end of the shock. Surrounded by blood mist completely. But it caused the piranha to become more crazy and bloodthirsty, the attack power was more powerful, and the killing became more intense. Well, it's interesting. My Xuanjia Mingqiao is actually increasing. With a steady stream of piranhas fighting and killing, sharp teeth bit on the armor, causing the armor to continuously flash with different light. Yi Tianxing suddenly felt that the origin of the Xuanjia life was a little bit increase, naturally draw the vitality of the heavens and the earth, and merge into the origin. Make the source stronger, and the armor becomes more powerful. It's like hitting an iron. Tempered in fire. Hit with a hammer. Once and twice, 1,000 times. Smelt a piece of steel. The purpose of the existence of the warframe is to defend and to withstand all attacks. After repeated killings, the fire was reborn. Become more powerful. The transformation of Xuanjia's life and consciousness means that it must withstand various attacks again and again. These attacks and injuries will stimulate the instinct of life and consciousness to become stronger, and the instinct will grow to a more powerful level. This process is subtle. Now under the attack of countless piranhas, almost every moment is under a large number of attacks. For the warframe, it seems like there are countless people beating at it, and the source of stimulating life knowledge begins to grow. It can be seen in the space of Xuanjia Mingqiao. The group of seemingly illusory warframes is becoming more condensed a little bit, and from illusory becomes more real. Absolutely absorbed the vitality of the world, and strengthened the strength of the origin. A large number of heaven and earth vitality directly ignited in the life-knowing space and turned into an unreal flame. Shroud the unreal warframe in flames and incinerate. This is that the supernatural power is transforming and growing. However, in this process, the demand for the vitality of the heavens and the earth is extremely huge. To maintain the existence of the warframe, it also needs to consume a lot of true energy to support it. Every time the piranha attacked, it seemed to be fueling the fire. Let the flames become more vigorous. A mysterious force naturally merged into the unreal warframe. Be part of it. No, how can there be such a terrible storm? My body is out of control. Fish, a lot of fish, don't My dignified monk will die in the mouth of a group of piranhas. It can be seen that other monks also arrived in this storm area. Immediately, he was drawn into a waterspout, with his body in it, still uncontrollable. He rolled around and was smashed by a piranha. In the blink of an eye, he bit into a fragment, died completely, and disappeared into white light. The picture was and scary. The time of existence is just a blink of an eye. Let people see, shocking. A mighty monk, just in front of a group of piranhas, easily ate up. Get away from me. A Western blonde woman was drawn in, desperately trying to stabilize her body, but inside it was completely futile, and the piranha rushed over, even if she showed all kinds of magic, but they could not change their ending in the slightest. Easily bitten. The picture is miserable. If you have any face, you must be a pink skull in an instant. Some monks opened their true body, and for a time they really kept the piranha out of the body. However, in the waterspout, there was no way to fight back, and they were under the attack of the piranha. Some monks themselves already consumed more than half of their qi. There was no way to support it, and in the middle of it, the true essence of the body was completely destroyed. Screaming and dying under the teeth of the piranha. Easily torn into pieces. The waterspout was previously walked. Keep moving. I don't know how long it has been. When Yi Tianxing felt that most of his vital energy was consumed, only a small part was left. Suddenly, the waterspout that bound the body disappeared without warning, turned into a huge wave, and fell into the sea. Howl. Jin Peng's cry also sounded in his ear. There was some fear and weakness in that cry. It came over from the storm. This calamity finally supported it. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath and looked around quickly, only to see that Jin Peng, a pale golden feather pupa, was actually pitted, just like a dog bite, and covered with dense tooth prints. It looked like, the wolf is embarrassed. If its plumage is very tough and powerful, I am afraid that it will be bitten by a piranha, even the flesh will be swallowed up. Jin Peng appeared under Yi Tianxing immediately after he broke away, holding him up. Tough work for you. Yi Tianxing nodded secretly and threw a tiandan dan into Jin Peng's mouth. The medicinal power contained in the elixir instantly made Jin Peng's body full of golden light, and his energy and qi were suddenly improved. Suddenly recovered most of it. The strength increased, shaking the wings, and flying forward. In the waterspout, he didn't want to go in a second time. I am afraid that no one can escape this waterspout. Once in, they will be drawn in. Without control of the body, I do not know how many monks will die under the teeth of the piranhas. Even the strongest are no exception. Quote, I knew in my heart that this level would definitely kill a group of monks completely inside. Every calamity is full of blood and death. The wind disaster, the weak river, Fayan bridge, misty swamp, Daoshan, the sea of a fire, death water tornado, the 7 calamities have passed, and 5 are still unknown. No, the storm should have been counted before. If you do not know, it is not a calamity, if it is. That's 8 calamities. There are only 4 behind. He groaned secretly in his heart and became more vigilant about the dangers he would encounter next. Call. Suddenly, a cold wind came from the front. The cold wind was very cold, and it was cold deep into the bones. It's so cold. The blood seemed to stop flowing. www.novelhall.com, frozen in the cold wind. This chill is pervasive. It's so cold. Even if it was Yi Tianxing, I felt a strong chill penetrate into my body. His muscles were shaking. The bones were moaning. Quickly run Junqi to expel the cold in the body. However, even if it is really working, this cold air dissipates very slowly. Ding! In the flesh and blood of the body, Heidingzong uttered a sound of ding, a qi and blood spewed out from the tripod, shuttled through the flesh and blood. As soon as qi and blood came out, it seemed as if a furnace was ignited in the flesh. Quickly dissipate the cold. Vanished. Qi blood is like an oven, and strong blood can be like a glorious day. The hot air can melt snow and ice. For the cold, the blood is deeper than the true air. Yi Tianxing secretly gave birth to a little insight. As soon as my heart moves, qi and blood move faster through the flesh. To be continued. Chapter 226 1/4 A Glacier Moonwalk. It's late to drink the wedding today, and I'm late. I have only 1 chapter to write. Only this one is changed. I'll find time tomorrow to make up. Supported by recommended tickets. A. It's so cold. I walked through the ground, avoided the weak river, avoided the wind disaster, walked over the volcano, and crossed the abyss. I passed through the swamp. Cold. I can't stand it anymore. Quote. Yi Tianxing runs qi and blood to withstand the cold that invades the body. In front, he heard an intermittent shout. If you look closely, you can see that in front of you, the sea has disappeared and replaced by a large glacier. This glacier can't see the margins at all, and a cold wind blows over one after another. This cold wind is not an ordinary cold wind. It is impossible for monks to have such a strong chill. This chill is already unable to resist even the true energy. As long as it penetrates into the body, even the true energy will freeze. In the cold air, there is a frozen everything, and all will be frozen in it. In front, you can see a figure walking on the glacier. It was a huge pangolin. The pangolin flashed a snow-white color with scales, but the pair of claws flashed a light from time to time, gold, red, yellow, cyan, blue. Constantly changing, the breath of the body also changes with the change of color. The claws are very sharp. This is the 5-element pangolin, which can travel in the golden wood, water and fire. It depends on the pair of claws. When encountering mountains and mountains, facing water and water, at least in the 5 elements, you can quickly pass by. According to legend, if the 5-element pangolin is transformed to the extreme, the whole body will become colorful. At that time, the place of the 5-element will no longer be able to stop its footsteps. Even if the prohibition can be easily torn apart, now only a pair of claws are multicolored or they are alternately changed. Obviously, the blood has not been transformed to a perfect level. Can only be said to have the bloodline of the 5 elements pangolin. Whether the transformation can be completed depends on how the future growth and transformation will look like. On the back of the pangolin, there is a figure of a dwarf like a boy. From the back, it can be seen that the person's entire body was shaking, and the tremors of the bones could be clearly heard. Even the pangolin leather is thick and trembling, it keeps trembling. When it moves forward step by step. The body looks a bit stiff. Ice sculpture. Don't even think about moving on. The 5-element pangolin can travel through the earth, can walk in the flame magma, and can swim in the sea. However, once the glacier enters, any force of the 5 elements will not work. A cold wind almost completely frozen human blood. Even fierce beasts can't stand it, they can't bear it. It's so cold. Is this another calamity? What kind of cold is this? It's too cold. Yi Tianxing also entered the glacier. I felt the cold wind blowing above the glacier for the first time, and the cold wind whizzed directly into the body. Even the armor of the outside did not have much effect on the cold. The cold wind still entered the body clearly. Blood, our bones have become cold. In Shanghai, the qi rolls along, continuously flowing along the meridian channels, in the blood are, dissipating the cold in the body as much as possible, and maintaining the blood flow. Fortunately, in the body of the black tripod, a stream of qi and blood spewed out continuously, walking through the blood our skeleton. Although the cold wind is constantly flowing, making people cold and bitter, but under the operation of qi and blood, the cold air is breathing immediately after he came out, his blood quickly smiled like blood from a furnace. Always keep the body in a state that it can withstand. Howl. But at this moment, Jin Peng screamed a stern scream, and the originally flexible wings gradually became stiff and began to land towards the glacier ground. The call is to remind Yi Tianxing that it is about to fall towards the glacier. In the process, there were no bumps and turbulences caused by the cold wind. Even on the brink of collapse, you still remember your responsibilities. In the blink of an eye, it had landed smoothly on the glacier. But on Jin Peng's wings, he could see that a layer of frost began to condense. Jinpeng, you will be fine. Yi Tianxing saw that there was a touch in his heart, and a voice came out of his mouth. Following this, the blood in the body urged, and directly perfused into Jinpeng's body along the feet. The vigorous blood, like the fire, constantly dispelled the cold air in Jinpeng's body. Let Jinpeng's originally stiff body recover a few points again, shaking the wings, and then fly to the sky. You do not have to fly to the sky. The cold is too violent. The higher you fly, the more severe the cold wind you are. You still walk on the ground, although the speed will slow down, at least to ensure your own safety. This cold is definitely not an ordinary cold. Quote. Yi Tianxing stopped the road immediately. Walking on the glacier is much better than flying in the air. At least the force of the cold wind is not as strong as the sky. Qi and blood are not endless, even if it is based on his cultivation practice, it is impossible to achieve infinite blood. The stronger the cold wind, the more and more qi and blood are consumed. There was Yi Tianxing's blood and blood poured into his body. After recovering, Jin Peng did not hesitate and started to take a step forward. Even if he was on the ground, his huge body and vigorous claws made it move on the ground. It's not too slow. Compared to ordinary horses, it will not be inferior. Bang bang. A crisp sound came from the ice. Seems to hear the sound of the back, the pygmy monk sitting on the pangolin looked back, and a cry for help was made in his mouth. Dao. Dao, friend, rescue, rescue, help. Ah, quote. As soon as the trembling voice fell, I saw frost on my face. Following that, the pangolin underneath was already covered with a layer of ice crystals. She stood rigidly on the ice and did not move. The gnome was completely motionless. The frost on his body quickly emerged. Although not dead yet, death is already within easy reach. It was frozen to death by the cold wind. Looking at the monk in front of him, Yi Tianxing's eyes could not help showing a tinge of suspicion. This man looked so special. It's hard to think without surprise. As a dwarf like a dwarf, his appearance is almost horrible. His eyes are cunning and vicious, with the desperate dead gray when the rain is coming. Now, in his eyes, he has a face. Despair and expectation of death. Expect to be rescued and survive. In this world, I can't save you, no one can save you, you can go with peace of mind. Yi Tianxing took a deep look at the dwarf, did not stop, and had no plans to rescue. In the game, everyone was the opponent and shot to rescue his enemies. Besides, they have nothing to do with each other. On what basis to save? Does he look like an idiot? In this case, there is always only one who can save themselves. Brush. A white light dissipated, and the frozen pangolin and dwarf disappeared together, but left something in place. I don't know what a good thing is. Yi Tianxing closed it without hesitation. For such items, you are naturally welcome. Among those items, he saw several booklets. It's not easy to see now, and carefully put it into the space of Lingju. This cold wind does not know how long it will last and how far it will cover. It should not be far from the end now. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath and continued to walk forward with Jin Peng. Step by step, the pace of the devil. Someone ahead. Unconsciously, a long distance has been walked on the glacier. Suddenly, I saw a figure in front of me. However, instead of walking forward, this figure stood in place, and a layer of ice crystals appeared on his body. Invite the moon. The snow-white palace dress and familiar back view allowed Yi Tianxing to recognize the identity of the back view at the first time. Could not help but be shocked. quickly rushed over. After seeing his face, I thoroughly confirmed that it was really an invitation to the moon. The moonlight butterfly had shrunk to the size of an ordinary butterfly, and landed on her shoulder, emitting a faint moonlight. Equally rigid and unable to move. Yuyu is not dead yet. But he is dying. According to the situation of the previous monk, it can be known that this is already a cold wind and cannot be resisted, and all signs of vitality will be completely frozen. Once this is the case, it's a white light, completely out of the game. Looking at the invitation to the moon, even if his body was frozen, Yi Tianxing shook his head slightly and didn't say much. Reached out and held the stiff body directly in front of him, holding it in his arms. Blood in the body naturally covers the invitation to the moon. The majestic blood makes Yi Tianxing feel like he is carrying a stove, and a heat is transferred into the moon invitation body, blocking the cold wind outside. It's him, www.novelhall.com. Although his body is stiff and even on the verge of collapse, Yuyu's consciousness hasn't really disappeared, just that the body can't move, and there is no problem with external perception. Suddenly hugged. Moreover, a strange amount of heat poured into the body, and the invitation to the moon, which was about to die, began to slow down immediately, and I felt a familiar breath penetrate into the nose, and I already knew who was holding myself. A complex emotion emerged in my heart. There is no opening, and no mouth can be opened. The cold in the body is too huge. Even if it starts to be dissipated, it is still not completely eliminated in a short time. Well, I took advantage of me before, even if it was a little compensation this time, don't expect me to be grateful. Inviting Yuyu secretly hummed, but without any action, let Yi Tianxing hold him in his arms and feel the strong qi and blood shock, and even the heartbeat seemed to be ringing in his ear. Chapter 227 AA 1/4 A Life and Death. The first change, please subscribe for monthly tickets. AA 1/4 A 1/2 QM. I actually let a man, or that disciple hug him, am I crazy? There was a thought in Zhao Yu's mind. It felt incredible in my heart. This was definitely not something I should do. What man could get into the eyes of her invitation to the moon and was held by the man, but he did not give up resistance. When secret thoughts emerged, he shook his head secretly and didn't think anymore. Running the work method, urges the body's true qi, also begins to refining the cold in the body, and accelerates the degree of dissipating the cold. Even moonlight butterfly is also recovering fast. Time passed quietly. Under Jin Peng's footsteps, unconsciously, he had already left the area covered by the cold wind. The bitter cold wind seemed to be gone forever, but the cold air that swept through it still cannot be ignored, and his life may be eroded at any time. Yi Tianxing has long felt that the cold in Yuyu A.S body has been dissipated for a long time, but Yuyu always keeps her eyes closed, and I just do not A.T wake up. I feel funny, but I have not A.T opened my eyes. If, wake up, I'm afraid I have to scream and kill again, so it's better not to, wake up. Nephrite is pregnant, Yi Tianxing can't wait for this process to be longer, this kind of fragrant thing, I believe that every man is an unanticipated thing. Feeling the tender body that has become soft, a pair of plump stickers on the chest, the feeling is really the ultimate enjoyment. You can even feel the fieriness from the arms of Zhao Zongjiao. Swipe, it wasn't long before I got out of the cold wind area. Above my head, there were no sharp signs of sharp air breaking sounds. When I looked up, Yi Tianxing's eyes flashed a horror. In the sky, there were dense ice cones and ice blades everywhere, falling from the sky. Each one flashed a sharp cold mang, and it fell quickly. With each hit, the body of the monk of Shanghai realm could be directly penetrated. A stone falling from high altitude can kill ordinary people, not to mention ice cones, sharp ice blades, falling down, and more horrible. Above, there is a terrible force of ice, which is definitely not ordinary can compare with hail. This is like a series of battle arrows fired by archers, with a deadly threat. The key point is that the range covered by these ice cones is extremely wide. It is almost impossible to avoid the attack range of these ice cones, whether it is forward or backward, and there is no way to dodge. Ding ding ding. The first ice cone that fell down can be directly penetrated by glaciers and directly inserted into the ice. Can be called a three-pointer. You can feel the impact of these ice cones, and their terrible sharpness. Howl. Jin Peng exploded at the first time. In a loud whistle, the two feathers kept waving, turning into feathers like swords, chopping down the falling ice cone and ice blade. Ding ding ding. Each ice cone was cut off, and a handle ice blade was broken. But the condensed plume is also constantly dissipating, crushed by falling ice cones. Those ice cones are large and small and thick thighs, and large ones are the size of adults, even larger than adults. Smashed like a small iceberg. It looks like a sky fall. The picture is full of shock. At this moment, above the track, a colorful divine light broke through like a shooting star. The speed is as fast as lightning, passing directly through the waterspout, and on the glacier, it is fast moving in the cold wind. On the competition platform, Shaosha brother said excitedly, "The quick man has won the lucky egg." This is not an ordinary egg. It is called the Lucky Rainbow Bridge. It spans thousands of miles and can send the lucky person directly to the other end of the Rainbow Bridge. There is no need to experience any danger at all. It can be said that no matter how much falls in front, it can also catch up directly at the next moment. Accidents are everywhere, and surprises are everywhere. There is insufficient strength and luck to make up for. Quote, "This lucky rainbow bridge is definitely the best of all the traps. The distance of thousands of miles can directly save several disasters. Appeared unobstructed all the way to an extremely long distance, the advantages obtained by others desperately will be leveled at once. This is luck. Luck is here. However, accidents are really everywhere. The end of the rainbow bridge seems to be in the scourge of the ice blade where the ice cone ice skates are located. It is not a good thing. After luck, it will be unlucky." Mrs. Black had very thief eyes and said with a sneer. Sure enough, the end point of the rainbow bridge is in this ice blade area, not far from Yi Tianxing. The glow outside disappeared and two figures appeared on the glacier. At a glance, the ice cones and icy blades swept across like a storm. "Brother Li, be careful." A woman's face changed, and her two knives danced wildly, turning them into a ball of light, chopping off the ice cones and ice blades, but the power of the ice contained in it was in the double a layer of cold ice crystals condensed on the knife. With great strength, the two knives were directly broken, and a sharp ice cone penetrated through the woman's chest hole instantly. The ice cone came out from the back. The blood was like a spring, and when it came out, it turned into scum. San Niang, who came here, was Li Guang and his female companion. Seeing San Niang's body pierced with ice cones, her face showed sadness. "Brother Li, you must come to me. San Niang will always be waiting for you." San Niang heard, trying to show a smile, said hard. "Rest assured, in my life Li Guang, if you do not senti marry San Niang, no matter where Niang is, I will definitely find you no matter how long it is. Do not senti forget, we have been tied to each other by the old red line, even if they are separated no matter how far away, it can produce induction. I will definitely find you. You must wait for me." Quote. Li Guang took a deep breath, his face full of firmness. That month-old red line is the treasure that San Niang got. When tied to men and women, they can have a wonderful connection. Even if they are far apart, they can also have a wonderful fate, allowing each other to meet and achieve an enviable marriage. However, everlasting Big Six is too vast, and it is definitely not easy to find each other. It is even possible that both sides will not be able to meet if they die. Of course, the existence of Yuelao Red Line has created a wonderful relationship between each other, and the fate of each other has begun to intersect. Sooner or later, there will be a chance to meet. San Niang turned white and disappeared in Li Guangwei. The relationship between Brother Li and this girl is really enviable. It is so lucky to be able to find a woman who loves you here. It is so lucky to die in the game, but it is only the end of the game, not the real death. In the future after all, there is a chance to meet. Quote. Yi Tianxing also nodded secretly in his heart. Jin Peng came to Li Guang, setting off a gust of wind, bringing out the wind blade, crushing the ice cones around him. Li Guang was also included in the protection. Yes, the end of today is a new beginning. San Niang left, and I stayed there, and it didn't make much sense. It won one's heart, and it wasn't separated from each other. Life and death went together. Feeling free and easy, Shen Sheng said, "The surname of Daoyu. Yi Tianxing, a Xuanwang town is established in my hand. If Brother Li comes to the neighborhood in the future, he can come for a while, and I will bring out good wine and food to entertain Li. I wish Brother Li to find your wife soon." Yi Tianxing's face was positive, and he said decisively. Already knew his options, but nothing stopped. This prevention is useless. Treasure the people in your eyes. Li Guang smiled and looked at the moon invitation in Yi Tianxing's arms, and nodded. There was no hesitation anymore. Go straight out. Out of Jinpeng's defense range. Standing proudly on the glacier. The ice cones that swept across the face did not dodge, did not evade, raised their heads and raised their chests, and faced the imminent death without change. Ha! In a crisp sound, Li Guang's entire body had been pierced by an ice cone. At the next moment, the body completely turned into white light and disappeared from the secret place. What a lover, it's a bit of a bone. A man, inviting the moon in Yi Tianxing's arms opened her eyes and detached directly from her arms. The moonlight butterfly grew again in the moonlight, supporting her body. Am I not a man? Yi Tianxing said with a smile. You Bai gave Yi Tianxing a glance, and said coldly, at best, I'm a disciple. Although he was a disciple, he didn't really do it. Obviously, this attitude has changed dramatically. Graft. A ribbon appeared in Zhao Yu's hand. With a wave of his hand, the ribbon, like a dragon, collided with the surrounding ice cones and ice blades, but the moment they came into contact, those ice cones began to turn around strangely, and hit the other ice cones around them. Very mysterious and weird. The ribbons are light and fluttering, but can make the ice cone falling from the sky easily reverse the direction and hit other ice cones. This kind of power that reverses the universe has mysterious truth and charm. Budo really. Yi Tianxing's eye pupils were slightly condensed. www.novelhall.com. The colored ribbons radiated from the ribbon were a pure martial arts true meaning. Graft. This ability to use Ru Kezhong to turn things around is magical. The essence of moving flowers and flowers is a magical combat technique that leverages strength. In Yueyu's hands, he was fascinated and realized the essence. Ding ding ding. Boom. Yi Tianxing didn't open his mouth, waved his war spear directly, and bombarded the ice cones that swept around. The war spear is straight and forward, and each spear is straightforward, and the falling ice cone is punctured and crushed accurately. The true energy and strength contained in the war spear make the war spear truly indestructible. When it touches, the ice cones are crushed into powder slag. To be continued. Announcement. Baiqu app is online and supports Android and Apple. Please pay attention to WeChat public account to download and install. APPXSYD, press and hold for 3 seconds to copy. Chapter 228 AA 1/4 A Thunderstorm. Second more. A pound A not A. What about the ice cones in the sky? I should be practicing spears, ancient guns, spears, drills under the jujube tree. Mature jujube falling from the tree, can crush the jujube in an instant. How much fall on the tree the spear can be soft and hard, and can be transformed like a snake. The difficulty is much lower, but the war spear is rather unyielding. It is only taken in the straight, not in the song. One shot will kill, it is fierce. Go forward, advance without retreating. It is more difficult to stab the falling jujubes. But deep into the depths, it may not be inferior to the spear, even more powerful. Quote. These ice cones are used to practice spears, and they can become more aware of their spear skills. Spears shake flowers, war spears blast into the sky, and sky fall. Boom, ground subsidence, blast mountains, landslides, blast rivers, river breaks. Quote. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath, and waved the spear in his hand again and again. Each spear was straightforward, accurate and powerful. With each shot, each ice cone was pierced and crushed in front of the spear and turned into slag, floating around. In ancient times, there were spears before other weapons. What is a spear? The ancients cut a wooden stick, sharpened their head, and held it in their hands to hunt and defend themselves. This is the oldest spear. Later, during the war, weapons evolved from lances to war halberds, and then to stables and lances. But the ever-changing is inseparable from its ancestors. The spear is the ancestor of long weapons. The reason why it is difficult to continue is because the war spear is more difficult to master and easy to learn and difficult to refine. It a cent a not a cent s better to change the spear, because holding the war spear, there must be a life forgetting death, my invincible momentum, belief, and the fearless faith that fights people. All it takes is its purest martial arts will. Otherwise, you can't control the spear, you can't practice the spear, you can't comprehend the ancient sages and the fierce beast fight. There is no blood to die, desperate to survive. But in Yi Tianxing's hands, the war spear was like a waving arm, and every time he waved, he naturally transmitted a pure spear, and the spear in his body began to grow unknowingly. Walking all the way, the dense ice cones were smashed by the war spear one after another, and the power in the body seemed to be endless, waving the war spear tirelessly. The whole body is like the same war spear. Inviting the moon is also nearby, together resisting the ice cones around. A large number of ice cones were shattered, and the technique of moving flowers and trees continued to be performed. They became more and more rounded, and the ribbon of fireworks could not be detected. Imperceptibly, the overwhelming ice cone disappeared for some reason. When you look at it, it is already in front of the edge of the glacier. It has already crossed the glacier. The cold felt outside even seemed to be mostly weakened. Looking closely, the sea is still ahead. Just on the ground of the glacier, it is an island. This island, standing in the middle of the sea, bare and nothing above it, is a lonely desert island. In the sky above the desert island, we can see that the platform of the martial arts conference was directly entangled in the void. You can even clearly see the figure of Handsome Black. It was even vaguely seen that the eyes gathered in the sky were staring at themselves. Can it be the end? Yu looked at the desert island in front and the huge platform. On the edge of the glacier, you can see that the people who arrived were not just them. Many more have arrived, but they all stood on the edge of the glacier, staring grimly. However, the time of arrival is only between. It should be the point. The point is the desert island. Behind the desert island, it's all fog. Obviously, that's not the track. The distance from here to the desert island is not long. This is the final sprint. However, it is not should there be 3 disasters and 9 difficulties. How many times have I spent this time? The first 8, the cold wind, the ice cone, count 2, add up to 10, and 2. Quote. Yi Tianxing groaned secretly after frowning slightly. Look, the best of the contestants have already reached the edge of the glacier, and have passed through most of the disasters of the 3 disasters and 9 disasters. Only the last disaster is left. The winner of the competition. The first 11 is already difficult, but the last one is thunderstorm. If you can't survive the thunderstorm, you will lose everything. Xiaosha brother said with a smile. Whether you can win the first place, win the championship, and get the treasure, depends on whether you people have this strength. Any luck is useless here. Only absolute strength can win the championship. If today, no one can come Desert Island, reaching the finish line, no one will be able to win the championship and get the prize in this competition. Quote. The Black Commander said coldly. This is the most brutal rule of the martial arts convention. As long as you do not complete the competition process, even if you have performed well before, you will not be able to get a place and win a championship. It's so harsh. Come on, do your best, go to the end, and as soon as you arrive, you will get benefits that are unimaginable. Your name will spread the entire eternal continent, and your name will become an eternal legend. Come on, Jimmy, Aga. Quote. Brother Chia said with a smile. The surname is easy, you take advantage of me. I won't just forget it so easily. Xuanwang Yishenxing, but I remember. Zhao Yu suddenly glanced at Yi Tianxing, and said flatly. Brush. As soon as the voice fell, the moonlight butterfly under her began to fly, and rushed towards the desert island. How could I Tianxing get a woman to play for me? If I want a championship, I will take it myself. Jinpeng, let's go, Yi Tianxing said hesitantly. Jinpeng also showed pride in his eyes, and made a loud howl, soaring into the sky. Wait for the Emperor. A green light flashed, and the Green Emperor appeared on Jinpeng's back. It turned out that one leg had grown green hair, and all 4 legs had grown hair, which looked pleasing to the eye. Yi Tianxing glanced over and found that Green Emperor had metamorphosis again, and the 4 legs had completely grown green hair. But the body's head and tail were still bare, with no hair at all. Hey, the Emperor also feels that he has become a lot more handsome, and the attraction to those asterisk will definitely increase again. If those asterisk can't restrain himself, can the Emperor stand up to it? Well, this is a big question. Quote. I heard that the tiger whip aphrodisiac is convenient and very powerful here. The donkey whip seems to be good. Which one do you want? The tiger whip is good and the donkey whip is also good. This is a problem. Think about it. The Green Emperor heard it, grinned, and began to choke again. Yi Tianxing gave a distressed glance and yelled, Green Emperor, please give me some quietness. If there is anything, I will find someone to listen to you and talk with you. This time you won me champion, after that, I will find 10 for you. Keeping them will make you comfortable. Quote. Really, when the Emperor heard it, his eyes were full of light, and he was full of energy. He looked at Yi Tianxing and said excitedly, Master, rest assured, there is my Emperor, what is difficult, what is thunder, it's all paper tigers. Quote. The Green Emperor heard and immediately shouted in high spirits. There is no calamity here, it is really not afraid of it, the water will not die, the fire will not die. The wind cannot die, with it, the evils retreat. With that said, the Magnificent One stood in front of Jin Peng's back. Look up at the sky. Click. In the sky, almost as soon as someone started sprinting towards the desert island, lightning bolts swarmed out of the void like a tide, all over the void at once, covering the glaciers to all areas of the desert island. Countless thunder and lightning, crazy shuttle, this is a terrible thunder sea, even if you glance at it, you can feel a scalp-tingling feeling. This is simply challenging people's psychological limits. Almost as soon as I left the glacier and appeared on the sea surface, immediately, the thunderous sea in the sky blasted out a thunder, and swept directly over. This thunder, not one or two, was extremely dense, and there was no room for slow turning. As soon as it broke out, it was to attack the dead, to crush it completely, and to completely die. Thunder is the embodiment of the majesty of heaven and earth. The power it contains is the ultimate expression of all kinds of power throughout the world. A thunder can slash a Shinhaijing monk to death on the spot, not to mention the dense dozens and hundreds of thunders hitting at the same time. There was a continuous thunder that followed. Graft. Inviting the moon to stand on the moonlight butterfly, looking at the thunder that swept away, his face couldn't help revealing a paleness. No matter who it is, facing the thunder, there is unexplainable fear. The fear comes from the instinct in the blood. Do not want to dance with ribbons in his hands, once again show the flowers and trees, swept over those thunder. The terrible thunder, moving it, is more than tens of times more difficult than facing the ice cone. Especially when the thunder touches the ribbon, it will have terrible destructive power. www.novelhall.com, inviting Yueyu's body is shaking, as soon as the thunder hits, it will erupt. Even if it is moved out, the power contained in those thunders still runs along the ribbon, and some of it falls on the body. The thunderous destructive power of thunder, which travels through the flesh and blood veins, even seems to be defeated by thunder. The body seemed to be paralyzed and the reaction became dull. If it weren't for the instinct of the protector to appear outside the body, I'm afraid the damage will become more serious. But even if the body protects the true meaning, there is no way to completely block the thunder. These thunders are such overbearing horrors. Fortunately, it was not directly hit, and still did not affect the true combat power. Rumble. Oh, it hurts, my fur, don't. Shouldn't it be very comfortable? Why do I really feel thundered? On Jin Peng's back, the Green Emperor looked like a fearless man, standing in front, and the thunder exploded directly. The Green Emperor instinctively thought that this thunder, like the calamity encountered before, was all loud and the rain was small, basically don't be afraid. To be continued. Chapter 229 AA 1/4 A Contention. Third, please subscribe for monthly tickets. £1 A not A. I did not expect that the thunder fell on the body, it was no different from the real thunder, and even more terrible, the Green Emperor was blinded at once. The mouth and nose were smoking black smoke. It's just like swinging, and in the thunder, the green hairs that are completely upside down are green needles. Stand up. More and more like moldy dog A cent A not A cent A not A meat. The Green Emperor couldn't think of it. In the past, he was not afraid of any calamity, and it was very comfortable to fall on him. Not the same as the thunder now. Green Emperor, your tail has long hair. After seeing Yi Tianxing, his eyes flashed and he said quickly. It can be seen that after the Green Emperor was chopped by thunder, the bare tail began to give birth to green hairs. One by one, it began to spread at a rate that was visible to the naked eye. It's really hairy, but how is it different from before? I don't want to be hacked. The Green Emperor heard and glanced at his tail, and he couldn't help showing fear at the same time when he was overjoyed. Being thundered, it didn't want to try again. Eat bitter and bitter, Fang is the king of dogs. Yi Tianxing heard and said with a smile. Rumble. The Green Emperor seems to have a strong attraction to the thunder. Most of the thunder around him smashed directly towards the Green Emperor and fell on him. The Green Emperor's screams came out one after another, and his body was dancing breakdance on Jin Peng's back similarly, the continuous shaking, the more screaming, the faster the green hair on the tail grows, and it seems to make people laugh. But the thunder didn't fall completely towards the Green Emperor. Still a lot of thunder fell on Yi Tianxing. Xuanjia Mingchao. The black battle armor covered the whole body again, and turned into a black robe, covering the whole body. Warframe is more condensed than before. The mysterious light emitted is more intense. A thunder fell on him. In the thunder, most of the power was blocked by the armor, and it can be seen that countless electric lights shuttled outside, which looked extremely terrifying. But there is still a part of the thunder force that penetrates into the body. Appears in the flesh. In this thunder, there is a powerful destructive force. Once in the body, it will be destroyed in the flesh and blood, to destroy the vitality in the flesh, to break the bones, and to destroy the veins. Moreover, when the thunder got into the body, the whole body seemed to have opened pores. Shocked in chi and blood. Good overbearing thunder. Yi Tianxing opened his mouth and exhaled a black gas, even his hair stood up. The light flashed in his eyes, and there was a touch of shock. This thunder is very overbearing, but it is not enough to completely penetrate the body to penetrate into the body, and to enter the body is not enough to completely destroy the physical body. In particular, the black tripod in the body passed out a swallowing force, forcing the thunder that was wantonly destroyed in the flesh and blood, forcibly swallowed in, and got involved in the black tripod. Ding ding ding. Then, the thunder struck in the black tripod, constantly ramming and hitting the inner wall of the black tripod, so that the entire mouth of the black tripod was constantly emitting a crisp tripod sound, and each tripod sound transmitted a dark black light into a sound wave, swept away towards the flesh and bones of the body. Flesh and bones were shaking, and a trace of impurities was completely shattered. Flesh is tougher and bones harder. Strong flesh and thirst is transmitted in the flesh and bones, quickly devouring the vitality of the heavens and the earth, and even the true energy in Shanghai was unceremoniously absorbed in the past, and quickly merged into the flesh in the sound waves transmitted by Dingming. Every inch of flesh began to shine. Thunder shocks Baoding. Baoding quenches the flesh. Legend has it that thunder can be refined. As long as it can withstand the bombardment of thunder, it can transform the flesh and become stronger. Thunder is destruction and new life. It breaks and stands. This method of refining is a kind of extreme sin. But the effect is really powerful. It is too expensive. Quote. Yi Tianxing thought secretly in his heart. I did not expect that thunder would be sucked in by Heiding, and turned into the power of shaking Heiding. The vibration of Heiding is the vibration of the whole flesh and blood, as if the flesh and bones are constantly circulating in the destruction and reorganization. With each shattering and reorganization, the flesh becomes stronger. Physical strength is increasing, starting to skyrocket from 60,000 caddies. Every time Heiding shakes, it causes a surge in strength, which is an increase of hundreds of caddies. At the same time, the vital energy in the body is also consumed. Without hesitation, Backhand took out a Tian Lan Dan, swallowed the power contained in Tian Lan Dan, quickly penetrated into the flesh, replaced the true energy, and turned into flesh nutrients. Rumble. Overhead, thunder fell on the body one by one, and the thunder and lightning that entered the body completely turned into the power to spur heading. The process of allowing this transformation to continue almost all the time. Brush. Jinpeng is speeding forward, shuttle through the thunder sea. Suddenly, a strong crisis appeared in the body without warning. In the Leihai, there was no sign. A sword light that had no difference from the thunder emerged like a martial art, and passed through a sword hole on Yi Tianxing's neck. There is a thunderous sword in the sword. This sword light is fast, so fast that it is almost impossible to dodge. The sword tip has appeared on the neck, and the skin can feel the sharpness of the sword light. Ding! Jian Guang's sting was straight on the throat, and the thunder light flashed sharply, but it was on the throat, but it seemed to be stabbed on the surface of the sea, and most of the power inside seemed to be released. The toughness of the film allows Jian Guang to fall on it and follow the stab on the cowhide. There is a strong force to block it, and even to break Jian Guang directly. But this sword, too sharp, was accompanied by lightning. A tiny sword mark appeared on the throat. Unfortunately, this sword can only tear a small sword mark, and it is completely intercepted, blocked out, difficult to enter, and even collapsed on the spot by a force. Yi Tianxing's response was not unpleasant. At the moment when the body is attacked, I don't want to think about it, the backhand is stabbed out at a position outside the body. Puff! A blood flashed from under the spear. The war spear pierced into the chest of a middle-aged man with long brown hair, but this wound was not the point. His speed was too fast. In a moment, he avoided the point. Unfortunately, his speed is fast, and Yi Tianxing's war spear is also not slow. Still pierced his chest by the war spear. Western monks, it's really a haunting soul. When you get here, you still have to entangle and secretly attack, and be my opponent, then die. There was a touch of coldness in the corner of Yi Tianxing's mouth, his blood rolled in his hands, his strength poured, and the spear flew on the spot. A terrifying force passed from the spear, followed by the western monk pierced by the spear. Exploded and exploded into a mist of blood. Broken into pieces. Puff. Just then, there was a sharp pain in his back. A western assassin wearing a black night clothes appeared outside, and a dagger forcibly pierced his armor and pierced his back. Blood was shining. Silent and silent, it was a poisonous snake in the dark, and he was able to walk behind Thunder Sea without being noticed. This skill is terrible. Boom. But did not give this assassin any chance of rejoicing. The battle spear in Yi Tianxing's hand has been backhanded and smashed behind him, containing the amazing power in the battle spear. A spear was beaten on the assassin, and on the spot, a head it was torn apart. Fried like a watermelon. Magic rope. A twinkling black rope came through, twirling like a snake toward Yi Tianxing. Tie it thoroughly to the rope. The ropes are weird, and Yi Tianxing is bound at once. Struggling hard, the rope will change with the increase of strength. Like rubber, there is no way to break it. Click. But the next moment, I saw that a pair of black and white scissors appeared outside, cutting the rope unceremoniously. Even the magic ropes were cut off in yin and yang and easily cut off. Go die. In the eyes of Yi Tianxing, black and white light flickered, and a black divine light burst out instantly, and fell on a magician. The magician died on the spot and disappeared into white light in the thunder. You guys are wild in the west, eat me a hammer. With a wave of Li Yuanba's hand, a hammer smashed a shield smashed by a shield soldier, smashing his body into mud. Thoroughly burst into blood mist. Drowsy curse. A magician waved his staff at Zhu Yuanzhang. Without evading the curse, Zhu Yuanzhang could not help but fell into a lethargic spot, drowned by the thunder in the sky, and bombarded him completely. Amazingly visible in the Thunder Sea. East and West have been madly fighting together. No one wants the other person to actually reach the end. This is fairy, this is really desperate. From the heart, everyone wants to be a champion and get a different treasure. To a certain extent, even if you can't get it, you must make it impossible for the people in the other camp. Under this idea, www.novelhall.com, East and West fought fiercely in the Thunder Sea. First, I tried to entangle my monk in the east, and then let the strong men in the west cross lay high to fight for the championship. With a group of monks, they can guarantee victory on their own side. It was a good abacus. Then Arthur did not die. Elected to be the representative of the West. Fight for the championship. Quote. Yi Tianxing quickly killed several Western monks next to him forcibly. Glanced at the Thunder Sea. It was immediately discovered that the Western monk had been fighting with the Eastern monk, but in Thunder Sea, he could see that a unicorn rushed forward with Arthur, but Arthur was not dead. What? Arthur is still alive. That golden retriever is still alive. The Green Emperor trembled in the thunder. Suddenly when he heard Arthur, his eyes radiated as soon as his whole body stopped shaking, and he saw the front. Arthur running through the air. With a smirk, he said, Golden Retriever, where to escape? The Emperor rushed out towards the Thunder Sea, and suddenly 4 green clouds gathered under his feet, holding the Emperor's body directly. To be continued. Chapter 230 AA 1/4 A Lucky Rainbow Bridge. There is a breeze around him, allowing the Green Emperor to run directly in the air, flying in the air, extremely fast, and not dull at all, quickly catching up to Arthur. Even if the thunder was on him, the Green Emperor did not stop footsteps, eyes fixed on Arthur, seems to have forgotten everything, do not care anything, just to kill Arthur to death. It is definitely not to miss Arthur. This hatred has gone to heaven. Golden Retriever, don't run, let the Emperor bite you. The Emperor's speed was extremely fast. He walked through the Thunder Sea. On his tail, the green hair grew rapidly. Unconsciously, he completely covered the entire tail. After all the green hairs covered the tail, the dog's tail swayed, and suddenly, the speed of the Green Emperor suddenly increased several times. In the Thunder Sea, it was as if a fish appeared in the sea and swam forward quickly. Quickly approached Arthur. It's your evil dog again, I've been hiding from you. It's so abominable that you are catching up. Don't blame me if you catch up. Arthur turned to see the Emperor rushing to catch up. The figure that came up suddenly turned black. He had been hiding away from the Green Emperor before, but he did not expect to be able to hide in the end, and was entangled again. It's just a ghost. Fear in my heart cannot help but give birth to a thick anger. A bad dog, do you think he dare not kill it by hand? But think about the end is near, I can only endure the anger, patted the unicorn, and ran towards the desert island quickly. The thunder in the sky kept falling, but the unicorn under him shot a beam of ***** light, blasting the thunder and spreading a holy enchantment mask. can weaken most of the thunder's power, the rest was sucked directly into a necklace on Arthur's neck. This is why he can quickly shuttle through the Thunder Sea. Reasons for being able to be chased by other Western powerhouses to chase the rankings of the martial arts. Jin Peng, catch up, any Western monk who stands in front of you, kill, kill, kill. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath, and without any hesitation, made a stop drinking. Within the body, 7 extremely clear dings were passed out suddenly. The momentum of the physical body soared again. Even the lightning that fell on him was shattered. Cultivation, Black Ding Kimming, the physical strength of the body, skyrocketed to 70,000 kilograms and continues to increase. Skyrocketing. For Thunder's ability to withstand more powerful, Thunder bombarded the body, most of them were drawn into the black tripod, let the Thunder turn into power, hit the black tripod, with the sound of the tripod, shatter the physical bones, and temper the physical body. In the tripod, a golden dragon elephant was thundering. If you don't hurry, in this Thunder Sea, it is simply the perfect place to practice. In addition, the thunder in the Thunder Sea, the power has not completely exceeded the level of the Shanghai realm. Of course, intensive bombardment over, will still die, as long as it is sustained, you can temper the body. Brush. Jin Peng rushed forward, shaking the wings, but just rushed out of the distance. Suddenly, a flash of light flashed in the void. No, it's a trap. Yi Tianxing instinctively felt a little bad. This light is obviously a sign of stepping on the trap. In the previous road, the trap buried the lives of a large number of monks. Unexpectedly, there are traps hidden in Thunder Sea. Even before the reaction was too late, I saw a burst of colorful glow covering the whole body. Then, a force with Yi Tianxing and Jin Peng, shuttled through the thunderous sea in an instant, as fast as lightning, thunder all around, all were shielded out, without any movement. It doesn't hurt at all. The lucky trap, the lucky rainbow bridge like Li Guang and them. The next second, Yi Tianxing already understood what he was. This is basically the legendary Lucky Rainbow Bridge. It is a big lucky that can span thousands of miles in an instant. This is a big prize. Nothing compares to encountering a lucky rainbow bridge here. This is luck. There is no distance of thousands of miles from Leihai to the deserted island. A rainbow bridge can cross Leihai in an instant. Reach the end. Luck, really luck. I didn't expect to win a super lucky prize at this time. Champion, I want it. Yi Tianxing couldn't help but laugh at the sky. A rainbow bridge was enough to crush everything. No force can stop it. Not good, stop him. The Western monk saw that he was breathless in his chest and almost did not bleed. They desperately stopped here, and even when a piece of luck broke out, they stepped on the asterisk and flew directly to the end. Is there anything wrong? Boom. Western monks stood in front of them, fighting with daggers and shields. I'm going to stand in front of the rainbow bridge. But what he was facing was just an icy war spear, violently piercing the shield, and his body burst into blood mist in an instant. The rainbow bridge is unstoppable, and the combat power of Yi Tianxing, coupled with the unstoppable rainbow bridge, comes together. It is indestructible and can break everything. No matter what you stand in front of, everything is dead. Look at it, Yi Tianxing won a big prize. He even stepped on the lucky rainbow bridge in the Thunder Sea and instantly crossed the Thunder Sea. The rainbow bridge can cross any area, even the Thunder Sea can't stop it. At the speed of the rainbow bridge he will certainly reach the finish line easily. Look at it, really, Yi Tianxing arrived at the desert island and reached the finish line. Congratulations to him, becoming the champion of the first Budo contest this time. Brother Xiaoxi's eyes lighted up, and he made a shout of excitement. This is the platform for the Budo convention, and I am really the first to reach the end. Yi Tianxing's figure appeared on the platform instantly. Rainbow Bridge took him directly to the deserted island. No one can match that speed. The first time he reached the end and landed on the deserted island, he was directly white-lighted. The shroud, when it appeared again, had already been brought to this platform. Looking down from here, you can clearly see the scene throughout the track. The contention in Leihai was even more fierce. Look, Arthur was bitten by a dog. Still biting on his hand, Arthur was also fierce, and took the stone sword and chopped it towards the green dog's neck. But the dog's neck had golden light, and the stone sword chopped it. Can't go on. Arthur was torn off by the evil dog. Arthur was anxious, and he opened his mouth to bite at the evil dog, and they are biting each other now. Fighting together, you bite me, I bite you. It's extremely fierce. Roll in Thunder Sea. Quote. Hai Shuai had already lighted up, and suddenly shouted. I only saw that in the Thunder Sea, the Green Emperor had been completely killed together with Arthur, and the fight was inextricable. Arthur was pulled down by the unicorn, and he was completely anxious, and he was murdered with the Green Emperor. Arthur was a dog-eating expert, and when he started fiercely, he bit his mouth open. I love dog meat most of my life, and I will come to love and kill each other today. Yi Tianxing saw that he could not bear to look directly. If you are bitten by the Green Emperor, you will be unlucky. Now you have been stunned. You do not know how many mouthfuls. You really have to be unlucky. You do not know how long it will last. Yi Tianxing smiled indifferently. Look, a white-haired old man in a white sacrifice robe, so fast, he is the real killer in the west, with a light thorn bird under him, a crown of thorns, and a scepter of light in his hand. Thunder can't get up, speed is like light, and it's about to reach the desert island. Quote. Shouted Brother Chia. A bright pope in the west wearing a white robe stepped directly on a bright avenue and dashed towards the desert island like a streamer. Appears first. No, look at Shang Yu, and the pupils are going to show their power. He Shuai suddenly pointed at Shang Yu and shouted loudly. Seeing only Shang Yu, the twinkling of divine light in a double pupil, suddenly, the whole body disappeared out of thin air. When it reappeared, it was on the desert island. In a split second, it spans several kilometers. Arrive at the desert island before the Pope of Light. Second place in Budo Convention, Overlord, Shang Yu. Mr. Black announced loudly. Immediately, the Pope of Light also reached the desert island. The second place reached the end. After arriving on the desert island, they appeared on the platform together. Brush. After returning to the top 3 places, I suddenly saw that the Thunder Sea shrouded on the track disappeared instantly. The remaining monks went directly into the platform in white light. Gathered together, the total number is less than 100. Originally brought together, tens of thousands of monks were left with less than 100 after the game. Fierce competition on the track, imagine how fierce it is. How cruel. Moreover, there is no weak person who can still survive now. Damn, let a Western barbarian occupy the top 3. Lu Biyu stood on the platform, looking at the 3 Yi Tianxing who were still shrouded in white ***** light, and stood on a high platform under his feet. Yi Tianxing stands in the middle and has the highest position. Shang Yu stands on the left, second position. The Pope of Light stands on the right, lowest position. Lu Biyu will not have any opinion on the ranking of others. Even if Yi Tianxing sat on the Rainbow Bridge directly to win the first place by virtue of his luck, his strength is not inferior. A part of strength, Shang Yu's divine power and double pupil were strange and unpredictable, and she won the ranking. No one can say anything. It can make the Western Pope win a ranking. How this feels uncomfortable. Dear friends, www.novelhall.com, dear distinguished guests. Now, my handsome brother grandly announces that the champion of the first martial arts conference is the master of Xuanwang Town, Yi Tianxing. The second place is the overlord Shang Yu. The third place, the bright Pope Meridoso in the west. Your name will be spread throughout the eternal continent. It has been passed down through the ages. It is witnessed by the power of the heavens. Quote. Xiaosha said with a smile. Now ask you to start choosing your own prizes. First, you can choose 3. Start with the first, then the second, and finally the third. He Shuai said decisively and directly. There is no muddled water. The 10 strange treasures turned into 10 tiny stars, blinking in front of them. First appeared in front of Yi Tianxing. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote, your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 231 AA 1/4 A prize. For subscription recommendation, £1 A not A. You can choose 3. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath, and the whole heart began to beat violently. 10 extraordinary treasures, extraordinary pieces. To choose, you can only choose the 3 things that are most helpful to you. This is already a great opportunity. This top-notch exotic treasure is definitely not something that ordinary people can estimate. The value is unimaginable. Taking a deep breath, his eyes continued to glance at the 10 stars. Before that, I already had an idea of A cent A not the item I wanted, and my mind must be pointing at a star. First, I want the space door. Brush. The voice fell, and a mighty power passed out naturally, and the star containing the gate of space was immediately sent to Yi Tianxing. Holding it in my hand, a mysterious message was naturally transmitted to my mind. Space gate. the strange treasures bred from heaven and earth can lock the void, suppress the void, shuttle the space, and cross the heaven and earth. It can condense the space beacon, put it into the world, and near the beacon, you can directly open the space door. Cross the void, shuttle space. Wang Ji Yipan. It seems that this space gate also needs to be continuously cultivated and tempered. One grade of Wang Ji Yipan can only condense a beacon. However, even without a beacon, it can open the space door and cross the space. Due to restrictions, the Wang Ji Yipan can only cross the space within 10 miles of the circle. The longest distance can only be 10 miles. To go further, you can only open the space door again. Quote. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath, so it seems that the space door may be limited, but its ability is still unmatched. At critical moments, it can directly save lives. Moreover, it is not impossible to promote transformation. Once the transformation is completed, the power of the space gate will become more powerful. The space door is gone. This option is the most appropriate. The monks left in the surroundings are the spectators of this competition. No one has left. Such a treasure, anyone, can determine the fortune and have an incredible effect. Everyone wants to know what these ranking people will choose. If they come across it in the future, it is better to be mentally prepared. Seeing Yi Tianxing chose the space door, many monks secretly have a hint of envy. This is a top-notch treasure that can be attacked, retreated, and defended. If you are fighting, you can also use it to perform a variety of tactics and warfare to produce extraordinary effects. At this point, even Shang Yu and the Pope of the Light saw their faces change. This is good, they want it too. The second thing, I choose the 8-door lock golden map. After a little groaning, Yi Tianxing made the second choice. This is an army formation. For a power, it is a unique treasure that can instantly enhance its overall military strength. The two armies can take on an incredible advantage. It can even be said to be invincible. This is an army formation that evolved from the 8-array picture. For enhancing the strength of Xuanwang Town, it is of crucial importance. The military formation was actually selected by him. Shang Yu saw, frowning slightly, he had liked this strange treasure before. As far as the army is concerned, it is natural to know how helpful a military formation will be. Unfortunately, he was chosen. At this point, Shang Yu could only shake his head helplessly. What exactly is the third one? At this time, Yi Tianxing couldn't help but feel a headache. If possible, he wanted everything, but on the premise of only choosing one, it was even more difficult to choose. The magic tower of Judian Town is good. The teleportation map is also a good thing. You can build a teleportation array. This is the most important strategic resource. The Star Mage Tower is also good. It can attract the power of the stars. It has unique advantages for cultivation. The ghost ship is also good. After getting it, in the rivers and seas in the future, there will be a certain amount of energy, and the resources in the waters and oceans will be more abundant than on land. In this way, only a large number of dead skeletons can transform into a long ghost ship, which is absolutely a weapon. The big killer in war. Incomparable. No matter which one can make people yearn for. I want the supreme artifact map. Taking a deep breath, Yi Tianxing's face showed a trace of firmness, and he set his eyes directly on the most mysterious treasure. This one is the most ambiguous in the introduction. If others can't make a choice, then choose the most elusive one and bet your luck. Brush. The supreme artifact map naturally fell into Yi Tianxing's hands, and at the same time, a mysterious message got into my mind. Exploring the information in it, a wave of stormy waves and even endless ecstasy emerged in my heart. Ecstatic in my heart, okay, it a sent a not a sent s so good. I did not sent a not a sent t expect that there was such a thing. Impairment is incredible. With this supreme artifact, from now on, Xuanwang Town has infinite potential for growth. Unexpectedly, in this world's first martial arts conference, you can still get such a supreme treasure. This supreme artifact picture is more precious than any other treasure. Even a ghost ship cannot be compared to it. This is the most precious of the 10 different treasures, no wonder there was no detailed description before. Once pointed out, it will become a nail in the eyes of numerous people and a thorn in the flesh. This is the true essence, which can save yourself countless hours of work and even the supreme treasure of wealth. Once cast, it is really a supreme artifact. Although he was ecstatic in his heart, he didn't show the slightest sign on his face, but just sent the supreme artifact map into the space of spirit beads calmly. Okay, now, please choose the prize for the second place. You can choose too. The Black Commander said again. The remaining 7 stars appeared in front of Shang Yu. When Shang Yu saw it, he reached out and chose 2. One was a ghost ship and the second was a teleportation array. Okay, now please choose the 3rd place. Only 1 treasure can be selected. Xiaoxia brother also said. The Pope of Light looked at the remaining 5 items, hesitated, and finally chose the Sacred Wing. Just looked at the Star Mage Tower reluctantly. Okay, everyone, now I am formally announcing that the first martial arts conference has come to a successful conclusion, and everything you get here can be brought back intact. Everyone, friendship reminds you once that this martial arts conference it is the pity of the big boss that will be held so soon. In the game, as long as it is not too unlucky, you can get something. Get all kinds of gains. These will be your dependence on the eternal continent. Quote. Brother Xiaoxia blinked and said suddenly, the mystery will be completely closed after half an hour. During this period, all participants can decide to leave at any time, but once the time is up, they will all be excluded. During these half hours, you survivors can communicate with each other, trade, and how you trade is up to you. By the way, here and now, it is forbidden to kill. Anyone who wants to do it will directly reject it. Trading is protected. Quote. Talking, showing a mysterious smile. With a wave of his hand, my handsome brother is going to draw a circle. Everyone, I hope to have a chance to meet again. When the words fell, I saw that Xiaoxia and Black Marshal disappeared in the light of God. Yi Daoyu, you can't change your 8-door lock gold map. I can exchange heavy treasures. Ghost ships can also be exchanged. As long as you are willing to exchange, there are other strange treasures on my body that can be traded. Shang Yu looked at Yi Tianxing and said. For him, there was a touch of friendliness in his looks. After he was stripped of his clothes, Yi Tianxing handed him a coverall. Although it was just an ordinary dress, he retained his final dignity. This relationship is in his heart. He wouldn't have spoken if he didn't particularly want the array. The 8-door lock golden map is also very important to me. I will not exchange it. I hope the Overlord will not be surprised. Yi Tianxing smiled calmly and said calmly. However, I also have other treasures in my hands. If you are in need, you can talk about the items you need. If you have the required items, the 2 sides can talk to each other, discuss and negotiate a deal. In the process, every Taoist can open his mouth and ask what he needs, and I don't know what they think. Quote. Yi Tianxing spoke up. This method is good. Everyone has a chance. It a not as fair to everyone and they can better get the items they want. Such an opportunity is too rare. Only the World a not as first martial arts conference can bring everyone from the south to the north together. Once separated, I don't know how many miles apart. If you want to meet again, the transaction is as difficult as ever. Quote. Lu Bang said with a smile. Well, okay, I agree. Yu agreed in advance. Everyone else heard it and had no opinion. There is not much time. This method is one of the best methods, and it cannot be killed here. It is extremely safe. Once you leave, no one will see each other. There is no possibility of killing or winning treasure. This time, maybe you can get treasures that are beneficial to you. No one intends to let it go easily. Come on, let me throw bricks and attract jade. I want a treasure that can guard the village and drive out the beasts and birds. The best treasure is a powerful deterrent. www.novelhall.com. If there is one, my Wang Mang is willing to exchange rich treasures. Quote. A man in a black robe stepped forward and said. To keep the treasures of the village, I have a magic tower in my hand. It is a strange treasure. What can you exchange for it? A Western monk stepped forward suddenly and took out a small palm-sized tower in his hand and said. On this little tower, a magical crystal ball emerged, shining with a strange light. With the light belonging to different treasures. I have a strange treasure. The 7 killing order, although it can only be used once, can lead to the killing of the heavens and the earth, and can kill the top powerhouse. The stronger you are, the longer you raise them, the more powerful can fight. Quote. Wang Mang said with a scarlet token. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 232 AA 1/4 A free pie. This is a strange treasure. As long as there is enough time to use enough blood and evil spirits to support, the power of the 7 killing orders will continue to increase and eventually reach a level of horror. To a certain extent, it can be used as the foundation of a force. At the critical moment, it can kill the enemy and save the life and death of the entire force, but the only disadvantage is that it takes time to cultivate. Without sufficient time, the strength that can be exerted is extremely limited. Not enough to deter everything. Especially now that it is in a state of constant protection, it is possible to die at any time, fierce beasts, monsters, endless. Such things may increase in value in the future, but now, how they look, they are like chicken ribs. Of course, it depends on their own needs and even their vision. Many people saw a fiery color when they saw this 7 killing order. This is good. The key moment to stay with you is a whole card. However, this order of 7 killings obviously cannot impress the Western powerhouse. Shaking his head and refusing to say, this 7 killing order is good, but it is not what I want. Then what do you want? I also have a spell building method in my hand, called Bone Dragon Summon. If you are willing, you can exchange it. If you don't, I can't take out other treasures. Wang Mang hesitated, then he said. In the end, the Western monk shook his head and still didn't agree. Wang Mang had no choice but to look at the magic tower. I have a magic scroll, and the magic contained in it is frozen for thousands of miles. Once activated, the area can be frozen for a moment, and I want to exchange for this magic tower. A Western monk said. In the case that Wang Mang is certain that there is no way to complete the transaction, if others are interested, he can send a transaction request to the corresponding Yibao, and as long as an agreement is reached, it can be exchanged directly. This process is extremely convenient for everyone. But to make sure that Wang Mang can't win the treasure, other talents can compete. Then, the opponent can choose one of them to exchange, or no one can exchange. Replace a monk and ask for it. I have a leaf of life. This leaf contains a powerful force of life. It can live and die, flesh and bones. It can be directly restored to life, even if it is only in one breath. It is definitely an excellent treasure for life. Shang Yu said, say what you can give. Defensive treasures such as magic towers have unparalleled appeal to many villagers. Sitting within your own sphere of influence is a security guarantee for the people in the name. Shang Yu set up the village himself and naturally hopes to get a magic tower. Guard the village. It can save a lot of troops. In terms of security, it can play a greater defense. The monk heard, his eyes lit up, and he felt a rush to the leaves of life. Such a treasure is definitely rare and has the effect that people can't help but give birth to heart. I can give a magic robe. It's a different treasure. A magic robe embryo. If you like, you can exchange it now. Yi Tianxing also said, he does not have all the different treasures. Although most of the thousands of different treasures are not used, there are also many good treasures. Unfortunately, some are not available now, and some are not suitable for you. For example, this magic robe is useless in his hands, and he feels unsuitable for him. In exchange for a magic tower, this is simply the best way. Use what you don't need in exchange for what you need. That's the deal. Magic robe. Okay, I'll change. That monk is a Western magician. I was wearing an ordinary magic robe, and now I heard that there is a magic robe with a different treasure level, and my heart suddenly became fiery, and I was moved on the spot. Within a few moments, a decision is made. Yi Tianxing waved out a magic robe and passed it. At the same time, he also took over the magic tower. This is good. Immediately, a monk started to buy. Many monks have concluded the transaction quickly, and the transaction is completed very quickly. This kind of communication is very popular. Many people have inner smiles on their faces. Such things are good. Unconsciously, it was Yi Tianxing's turn to speak. Dear friends, as everyone knows, whenever the monk has the opportunity, he will make his own destiny magic weapon. The embryo of the destiny magic weapon is naturally the most precious treasure bred from heaven and earth. Therefore, I want to seek one. The top exotic treasures are used as embryos. Of course, the most precious treasures are tripods, towers, and bells. If there are any, I can exchange them for treasures. Pay for the treasures that are satisfactory. Quote. Yi Tianxing said slowly. This time he opened his mouth to buy, which is his own destiny. The bronze spear can become its own destiny, as its own weapon, but the destiny is not only able to have only one. Just to say that such a treasure is connected to its own life, it is very important. Once you choose the destiny magic weapon too much, it will be extremely difficult to cultivate, and even the final one cannot be refined to the extreme. On the contrary, it is not good for its own strength and cannot play a key role. In particular, to a certain extent, it will be a drag on oneself, it will be difficult to go to the extreme, become a true strongman, become mediocre, and let oneself cultivate, far inferior to the original monks of the same generation. Therefore, most people only need to sacrifice 1 or 2 pieces, and most of them only sacrifice 1. What Yi Tianxing wanted to do was to sacrifice a treasure of sermons that could grow with him. The destiny is actually the sermon. But the sermon is the only one. He wants to choose, and naturally hopes to choose the most powerful one. The most incredible, the strongest potential. Among the magic weapons, the most important thing is to summarize the heaven and the earth with the tripod, bell, tower, mirror and other items, and the power is naturally the most powerful. However, none of the treasures of heaven and earth that I have obtained can satisfy my heart. Now there are the most powerful people in the entire eternal continent. The items carried on them are naturally the most amazing and the best. Maybe you can get the treasure you want here. Can be a sermon. The monks heard around, and couldn't help revealing a touch of light. Looking at Yi Tianxing silent. Everyone knows the most precious treasures, and their preciousness is absolutely inestimable. Even if you stay in your hands and don't use it yourself, you can produce unimaginable help in the future. No one will take it out easily. I have an altar here, which is also a treasure from heaven and earth. Moreover, the altar is not banned, but it contains the original divine ban. Like a blank piece of paper, you can incorporate your own thoughts into it and evolve the corresponding ban. The potential is extremely strong, and it should not be a problem to become a destiny. Quote. In the end, it was Shang Yu who spoke first, took out a white jade-like altar, and flashed the treasure light, which looked unusually mysterious. If it is sacrificed, it must be a treasure. I have an ancient mirror in my hand. I don't know if you need it. Another monk said. I have a treasure pot here, which is also a treasure of heaven and earth. A young man said. There are definitely not a few foreign treasures in this hand. No, all of a sudden, various foreign treasures appear one after another. Yi Tianxing, I have a strange treasure in my hands, depending on whether you dare to ask for it. Just then, a voice suddenly reminded me. I only saw and talked about Arthur, who was totally up and down. He wasn't dead either. Before the game was about to be bitten by the Green Emperor, the game just ended, and he saved his life, but it goes without saying that he didn't have a few pieces of flesh intact. Now, a long blonde hair is the same as being bitten by a dog. Missing one, missing one. All the original demeanor was lost. They had a fight with the Green Emperor, and what good image could there be? Don't expect much at all. Standing out now, looking at Yi Tianxing, I also had a vicious feeling. After all, Green Emperor is Yi Tianxing's dog. If he was bitten by a dog, he would naturally have a relationship with Yi Tianxing. It's hard not to hate it. Seeing Arthur, Yi Tianxing also had to say that his life was really hard. He wasn't dead one after another, but he can still live under the entanglement of the Green Emperor. It's really not easy to see his expression. Gave birth to a hint of curiosity. I don't know what your treasure is. As long as it's appropriate, I'm willing to change it. Yi Tianxing said decisively, regardless of whether it is an enemy or not, now it is only for the two parties to trade. It is the most important thing to get the treasure that suits you. That's it. Arthur turned back and took out a strange treasure. Baoguang flows. Looking closely, it is an item that looks similar to the altar, and the whole body is also crystal clear and transparent. Tacky. Yi Tianxing carefully glanced, took a deep breath, and slowly exhaled a voice after the investigation. Sure enough, this is a tower base. But it is not incomplete, it is a complete treasure. And the basic body of this tower has a characteristic, that is, the treasure must be integrated into the tower base and developed a new tower. A strange treasure can only open up a layer of the tower. I don't know if you dare to go next. Arthur said with a hint of excitement. It directly reveals the uniqueness of this tower base, and the most important thing is, www.novelhall.com, although this is just the tower base, it has unlimited growth potential. When other monks heard it around, they couldn't help expressing surprise and horror. This tower base is very weird anyway. It needs to be developed with other strange treasures in order to grow the tower body. This situation looks no different from sacrifice. Is there anything else that is even more elusive? It looks very mysterious. What do you want? Yi Tianxing saw that he had a strong curiosity about this tower base. Immediately asked, I don't want anything. What I want is simple. You must sacrifice it to your life, and it will be yours. I will give it to you for free. Arthur smiled. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 233 AA 1/4 A meteorite bow. For subscription recommendation. Come on. A pound A not A. It seems you are going to pit me, you must haven't said anything about this thing. Yi Tianxing gave a meaningful glance at Arthur. This thing is weird, there must be something hidden in it, and it is definitely not a situation that is beneficial to himself. He see a na sent a not a sent he guess what it is. Judging by his expression, it was nothing good. It may even be a daddy. He didn't think that Arthur would show him good enough to give a top-notch treasure. Even if you are pitted, you will say that you will not dare to give away the precious treasure. You are the first in this martial arts conference. Arthur said unabashedly. It was clear that the base was problematic, but it did not explain. A radical on the bright side. Your method of aggression is very clumsy, but I don't have a reason not to give up the treasure of Beiji. No matter what your conspiracy is, send me a treasure, then I have no reason not to accept it. Take it. After Yi Tianxing groaned slightly, he finally chose to agree. As said, there is no reason not to give away the treasures. Even if it is necessary to sacrifice the life-saving magic weapon, there must be a problem. You can give it up. If you do not send a not a senti sacrifice in the future, there may not be any danger. Moreover, he believes in his strength. The treasure in the embryo should not be dangerous to him yet. The most important thing is that this is a secret place. There must be danger. If you leave the secret place, you can recover. With this important guarantee, it is the greatest confidence to accept it. Okay, here you are. Arthur did not hesitate to throw that tower to Yi Tianxing. Here, with so many monks watching, he is not afraid that Yi Tianxing will regret it. Once he violates his promise, his credibility will be completely lost. In the entire eternal continent, I am afraid that fame will completely rot. No one will believe him. Holding the tower base, feeling the weight transmitted from the tower base, with a slight frown, he still broke his tongue without hesitation, opened up a spurt of essence and blood, and merged into the tower base. At the same time, the body Junqi, Qi and blood did not hesitate to merge into the Taki, a trace of mind and Taki completely integrated. This kind of sacrifice is a way to sacrifice your destiny magic weapon. Ordinary sacrificial magic weapon, as long as it is tempered with true energy, it can be absorbed into the mind. This is directly integrated into the essence. The blood veins are connected. After warming up, they will be completely connected with their own Qi machine. A true destiny. After sacrifice to life, a message naturally passed to the mind. Into the soul. Immediately I knew Arthur's sinister intentions. Yi Tianxing, since you a sent a not a sent vei sacrifice this towering sacrifice as a magic weapon, from now on, I see how you still cultivate. I want to make you a poor egg. In the future, I can only watch others become stronger. It can be as slow as a turtle. I see how you can sacrifice this destiny. Quote. After seeing Yi Tianxing's sacrifice, Arthur sneered, without any hesitation, his body turned into white light and disappeared. If he was bitten by the Green Emperor like this, it would have been a long time for him to stay alive for a long time. Staying here is shameful. Now that the goal is achieved, it is natural to leave the first time. What is so mysterious about that strange treasure that makes that Arthur so confident? The monks saw around, feeling secretly in their hearts. What can be so confident by Arthur is obviously not unusual. My heart kept guessing, but I couldn't think of the mystery in it. Sure enough, it was a pit. It was really a big pit for me. Interesting, I didn't expect that there was such a strange treasure. It must be surprising. However, such a strange treasure is made into a destiny, and even it is a sermon that is powerful, and the ultimate power will be immeasurably powerful. If you want to pit me, this may not be my greatest opportunity. It will not be worse than getting the supreme artifact map. Quote. It took a long time for Yi Tianxing to open his eyes, and a strange color appeared in his eyes. I have to say that Arthur really dug a big pit for him, but as long as he fills it well, the big pit can also become a huge peak. It's a big pit for others, not for yourself. It is impossible to say that it can sacrifice a supreme treasure. Looking around, a pair of concerned eyes appeared in perception. Looking along the induction, he suddenly saw the figure of Yuyu. When Yuyu saw Yi Tianxing looking at her, she uttered a cold hum in her nose and turned to white light and disappeared. Obviously, she also left the secret place. Yi Tianxing was going to talk to her before he could say a few words. Inviting the moon, I will find you sooner or later, and then you will no longer be able to avoid it. Yi Tianxing murmured to himself. Brush. Not long after, the time to leave the mystery has arrived, and a force of repulsion naturally comes over, covering the whole body. In a blink of an eye, all monks on the platform turned into white light and disappeared from the mystery. In Xuanwang town, inside the retreat, a divine light flickered. Suddenly, 3 figures appeared out of nothing in the empty still room. Finally back. In just a day or two, what happened was really like dreaming. It was incredible. Yi Tianxing stood on the ground, watching the Green Emperor and Jin Peng around him. The changes in cultivation and the treasures that are truly harvested are all true and true. The time spent in mystery was just 2 days. The benefits obtained are unimaginable. Nothing else. With a wave of hands, in the Lingju space, most of the treasures obtained during the game appeared directly in the quiet room. A lot of baby. When the Emperor saw it, his eyes were all green, and he was about to flutter. Yi Tianxing slapped it aside. These things are not yours. You are also greatly increased in strength. The green hair on your body has 4 feet and the tail has green hair. After training, you can make your hair grow fuller sooner or later. Now give me go and watch the spar mine, and take a good tour in Xuanwang town. I will find you a few more beautiful ***** in the future. Quote. Yi Tianxing said slowly, my bitch, I want a big ass. Green Emperor said with a bright eye. As long as you are obedient, I will find everything for you. Yi Tianxing said angrily. Hey, master, rest assured, I'll go and look around. The spar mine will definitely show you a good one, don't even try to escape from the eyes of the Emperor. The Green Emperor jumped out of the window excitedly, Fart Bumpy ran to patrol. Jin Peng, first find a place in the mansion to settle down. The sky in the town will be entrusted to you to guard. Any violent birds invading the sky above Xuanwang town can be hunted. Yi Tianxing also said to Jin Peng. Howl. Jin Peng nodded and flew out of the quiet room. Appeared over Xuanwang town, but the 2 arrow towers in the town did not respond to it, and already felt the breath of Yi Tianxing from Jin Peng. Naturally, no attack will be launched. Strange, why is there a bird in the sky? In this regard, some people in Xuanwang town also showed a hint of wonder. Good thing, this harvest is amazing. There are dozens of different treasures. There are so many exercises and classics. This time, you can greatly enrich the Tibetan bookstore. Yi Tianxing looked at the pile of treasures in front of him, and couldn't help secretly produce a fiery enthusiasm. How can something that can be carried around by those contestants be ordinary? Although many things have been sacrificed by those monks, they also disappeared after death. But there are still a lot of things left unowned. Needless to say, there are hundreds of pet contracts. These can get mount pets who are most loyal to themselves. For a monk, this is a tremendous benefit. The preciousness of these contracts can be imagined. Then there are some treasures that are not used. There are only a few liquidations that are really useful in front of you. This is in addition to those exercises. This battle bow is good. The first thing Yi Tianxing saw was a war bow, which he did not know was obtained from that monk. Anyway, he couldn't remember. On the track, the monks who died in his hands did not know how many. Especially Western monks. Too many dead, there is no time to look at it, as long as things are left, they are all put into the space of Lingju. Moreover, these did not matter to him. Just need to know that this war bow belongs to yourself now. The mouth of this battle bow is dark, with an intriguing black texture engraved on it. On the bow, 2 ancient crickets meteorites. Meteor bow, can make stars fall and shoot stars. I don't know if there is such a power. Yi Tianxing reached out and stroked it on the bow of the meteorite. The bowstring used a black bowstring. I didn't know what material it was, but it was dark, emitting a crystal light, and I could feel the tenacity at a glance. Hold it in your hand, put your right hand on the bowstring, and pull the war bow a little bit away. The arch began to tighten. A hard bow. As soon as the meteorite bow fell on his hand, Yu read the book www.yuakanshu. Calm immediately, the power in his hands poured out little by little. 100 caddies, 300 caddies, 1,000 caddies. There is no way to shake a bowstring or pull a bow of war even 1,000 pounds. It was not until the strength reached 3,000 pounds. When it reached 10,000 caddies, it was pulled away a little. Even if it is 1,000 pounds of force, it just pulls the bow of war. After pulling away, you can feel the powerful power contained in the bow. A powerful mouthful of meteor bows, Huang Jia Yi Pin, can withstand the force of 10,000 kilograms. If the quality stage grows again, it will not be able to pull open 10,000 pounds. Without strong physical strength, it is impossible to pull. No wonder, it a cent a not a cent s. No wonder that the original owner of this bow will abandon it. It may not be able to pull it at all. The arrows shot with such a strong bow, even if they are monks in the Shanghai realm, there are not a few that can stop them. Stay, it will be shot in an instant. Together with rune arrow and bone war arrow, the power is stronger. Quote, Yi Tianxing couldn't help but play with the bow in his hand and groan secretly. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 234 AA 1/4 A4 Elephant Sky Arrow Sutra. This is really a good thing. Yi Tianxing's own archery is not inferior to other people. In addition, the powerful physical strength, even the increase in runes and bones, can make him better at archery. Such a archer is comparable, but for a long time, there is no way to exert its own power to the extreme. The arrow path, to a large extent, depends on its own bow to exert its power. A good battle bow can show its power to the extreme. If the war bow cannot even bear its own power, the power will naturally be greatly reduced. As long as there is a top bow, it is not difficult to kill 1,000 miles away. Now this meteor bow can make up for its shortcomings. With a meteor bow in it, an arrow path can be perfectly played out. As long as the meteor bow continues to transform, it will be able to withstand stronger forces and erupt more destructive power, and eventually even the stars can shoot directly. Let the stars fall. This meteor bow Yi Tianxing has decided to sacrifice the cost of life. Keep it aside. Look again at other treasures. Soft gold armor, silk gloves, a sword of war, a bead, a seed, a pipe, a drawing, and a mask. Above these items, there is a layer of treasure light that can be seen, not an ordinary treasure. This golden soft inner armor was cut off from Zhu Yuanzhang by the old thief of Sikong Jexing. It is very defensive, wears close-fitting, and can save lives at critical moments. It is a good thing. There are silk gloves. Bao, when worn on the hand, can be directly incorporated into the skin of the hand. The appearance cannot be seen, but it can keep the hands out of the gun and the fire and water. This war sword, although it is a sword embryo, is a treasure of heaven and earth. The finest sword embryo is sacrificed and it is a peerless war sword. As for this orb, it is actually an innate spirit bead. It can draw the heaven and earth vitality as transformed into the innate vitality. Converging the heaven and earth vitality has a powerful spiritual gathering effect. Being placed nearby can multiply your own cultivation speed and integrate into an area, which can make one area become a spiritual land and can cultivate spiritual veins. The thought of such a treasure could fall into my hands. Quote, compared to others, this congenital spirit bead has a greater effect. This is a treasure that can have an effect on one area, and as long as it stays somewhere long enough, it can even give birth to a vein. What is the spirit vein? The spirit vein can naturally gather the vitality of the heavens and the earth. The vitality is far stronger than other places, which can make oneself cultivate faster, and the genius that has nurtured is more proud. Cultivated a large number of natural treasures, rare elixir. A large amount of land was directly converted into Lingtian. Blood Bodhi seeds can cultivate bleeding Bodhi. This is a very precious elixir. It grows in the place where there is plenty of blood, and also in the place where various gods and beasts live. It grows in strong blood and can be blood red. Strong blood, strong physical body, tempered essence, can absorb blood and grow. This blood Bodhi has no core, it melts at the entrance, and can be cultivated by growth. After Yi Tianxing searched with the wordless book, he moved this blood Bodhi seed into Dantian Mingchao and planted it in a spiritual field. With sufficient vitality, nourish the seed, let it germinate again, grow, and finally transform into true blood Bodhi. The Qiqing fascinating pipe, which can emit the Qiqing fascinating smoke, once it appears, it can make people illusions, upside down, into a mania, difficult to control themselves, exert to the extreme, and even make people lost forever. Can't wake up anymore. Quote, that pipe is also a very precious treasure, and if used properly, maybe it can turn things around at a critical moment. Faceless mask. As long as you wear it, you can imitate all kinds of appearances as you like, without any flaws. You can't detect even the gods' thoughts, even the ventilator can be changed, and it is ever changing. Then no one can really find it. For those special people, it is absolutely priceless. Quote, Yi Tianxing looked at the crystal-like mask, and a strange color flashed in his eyes. If such a mask is obtained by the enemy, it is really invincible and hard for anyone to detect. A bad one will cause great disaster. My heart groaned secretly. The mask without phase must not be easily passed on, but only the talents who give them the most trust and will not betray. Otherwise, if there is a change, it will cause unimaginable harm. After taking a deep breath, he immediately picked up the drawing. This drawing is a stunning item. A drawing of a goblin chariot. Yi Tianxing was shocked in his heart. This is a drawing of a goblin chariot. It is a chariot that can exert a powerful combat power on the battlefield. Once built, it is a big killer on the battlefield. Charged, absolutely powerful. At that time, hand it over to Lu Shi and see if it can be built. As long as it is successful, Xuanwang Town's strengths will definitely become stronger. Secretly came up with a thought. Flame retardant drawings of this type of agency are left to the craftsmen of Tiangong Pavilion for research. This is the most sensible choice. Then, looking again at those piles of exercises. Each of these exercises can be carried by those who are strong, and each one is an extremely precious exercise. Storm fight, furious thunder, fighting flames. 9 heavy phoenix fires, 9 day picking stars, the true story of rats, secretary of the organs, methods of constructing spears of carrion, methods of constructing skulls, blasting, 4 elephant sky arrows. Various exercises and classics, combat skills. There are hundreds of them in total. There are magic construction techniques, fighting qigong methods, and organ secret techniques. When they come together, they are all overwhelming. If it weren't for Yi Tianxing's strong mentality, I'm afraid, this time, I would happily embrace these exercises and laugh at the sky. The 4 Elephant Celestial Sword Classic, Peerless Archery Techniques, Northwest, North-South, Qinglong, Suzaku, Basalt, and White Tiger. For the 4 Beast ****** Beast, suppress the 4 poles of heaven and earth. The 4 elephants are arrowheads. 1 arrow shoots, the arrowheads cross, and the 4 elephants are derived. Quote. What Yi Tianxing values a most is this peerless archery. Once this archery is practiced to the extreme, a single arrow can be turned into a green dragon and a Suzaku to burn the sky. Be invincible. But the threshold for practicing this arrow technique is also extremely high. First of all, it must gather its own arrowhead. After condensing the arrowheads, it is to visualize the 4 signs, condensing the 4 elephants. Whether it can be modified into the 4 elephant heavenly arrow scriptures depends on whether it can condensate the 4 elephant arrows. Once you can't do it, naturally, you can only stop and you can't practice this peerless archery. As long as I can accomplish this peerless archery, I will have another whole card in my hand. Yi Tianxing's eyes flashed a deep sigh, and he groaned secretly. It is impossible for him to give up this archery. In this world, the number of archaic books can be said to be extremely scarce. Archery can reach the extreme, and it is even more scarce. Compared to archery, many monks want to practice flying swords thousands of miles cut people's heads. With all one's heart and mind, I put all these items into the space of spirit beads. When I look at the body, I feel helpless and expectant in my heart. I can only see that in Shanghai, I can see a crystal-like tower standing tall and repressed in the center of Shanghai, voicing the true energy and blending with each other. Moreover, the bronze war spear that had been entangled in Shanghai has disappeared. When you look closely, you will find that there is an extra layer of tower on the base. That looks like a pagoda just under construction, with the first floor just built. It is an octagonal pagoda. On the first tower, there are 8 corners and 4 doors. It not just that the door of the pagoda, shining with divine light, seems to be nothing, but not see anything in the tower. Under normal circumstances, it is impossible to get in and out. This looks like an unfinished pagoda. The emitted air machine is very powerful. It seems to suppress everything. Moreover, it is constantly engulfing the vitality of the world, even the true energy, like a bottomless pit. The true dragon spirit in Shanghai has already lost 1 layer. The vitality of heaven and earth that enters the body along the meridian will almost be engulfed in the pagoda as soon as it enters the body. Disappear. Make the light from this pagoda more intense. This tower is really a monster. I really do not know how the heavens and the earth can give birth to such a monster. Such a magic weapon is needed to condense the tower body. Once it is integrated, it is equivalent to becoming a part of the tower completely. Sacrifice together. This weird innate divine restraint is simply incredible. No wonder Arthur dares not touch it. No wonder he has the confidence to pit me. Quote. Yi Tianxing looked at the glazed pagoda in Shanghai, and secretly groaned in his heart. www.novelhall.com. This pagoda is indeed weird, it is unusually weird. Even Yi Tianxing didn't see it with his own eyes. He never imagined that there would be such a treasure. This is totally a daddy. This towering foundation contains the mysterious innate divine forbidden promise Kaifu forbidden. This pagoda has a unique instinct. That is, it will absorb the innate magic weapon in the body, integrate it into the pagoda, and transform it into a heavenly soldier, forcibly opening up the world. A destiny magic weapon can only open up a world. Once the heaven and earth are completed, the original inborn magic weapon will be turned into a heavenly artifact and suppress the heaven and earth. Be part of the world. And if the destiny magic weapon cannot complete the world, it will completely collapse and become nothing. Crush into pieces. Therefore, only real treasures of heaven and earth are qualified to open up the heavens and earth and become one of the heavenly artifacts. General magic weapons do not have this qualification. In particular, this must be a magic weapon. This pagoda will forcibly devour the destiny soldiers. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 235 AA 1/4 A Hongmeng Tiandi Tower. For subscription recommendation, there are 2 tickets with tickets. A pound A not A. With this pagoda in it, there will not be a second destiny magic weapon in the body. As long as any of the sacrifice of sacrifices costing the ***** soldiers, the air and machine are connected, it will be swallowed up by the pagoda and turned into a heavenly thing. Evolve in the pagoda. There are absolutely no exceptions, and this is where the pagoda is overbearing. As soon as the altar sacrifice was completed, it was put into the body and appeared in the deep sea. Immediately, the original bronze war spear was swallowed into the altar by politeness, and then it began to evolve directly. A space was opened up, and a tower body was naturally grown on the base. You should know that pagodas generally use 5 floors as the tower. If they are less than 5 floors, they cannot be called towers. Therefore, the pagoda must have a minimum of 5 floors. It's just the first floor now. With a single thought, Yi Tianxing's entire mind appeared in the pagoda. This pagoda is not a blue brick house, but a space. An independent space. This space is not large, only 1 square in size, the sky is not high, the ground is not thick, the ground is a barren land, looking at it, it is a kind of dark land. Outside this space, it is dark. One piece is gray, as if endless nothingness. Make life fear. Battle spear. A bronze war spear emerged silently from the void, and the mysterious treasure light flashed on the war spear, completely integrated with this space, the origin of the air machine, and the water and milk blended together. The origin of heaven and earth that belongs to this space is the tempering of the war spear, which is suppressing this space. The larger the space, the faster the strength of the day and the ground will quench the war spear will become stronger, and the war spear becoming stronger will make the space more stable and indestructible. This is the magic weapon to open the sky, completely integrated with this heaven and earth. It can be said that as long as the space here continues to expand, become larger, and strengthen the origins of heaven and earth, naturally, the war spears will continue to grow stronger. The war spear is equal to the power of all the heavens and earth that contains this space. But in this way, it is also equivalent to the fact that the war spear can no longer grow and change from other channels. If the space does not change, the power spear of the war spear cannot be fundamentally transformed. Heaven and earth are divided into Dongtian, Shaochen world, Zongqian world, and Daqian world. The magic weapon is divided into Wangji magic instrument, Xuanji magic, earth, Lingbao, and heaven excellent. In Dongtian space, the limit can reach 3,000 miles. In the small thousand world, the limit can reach 129,600 miles. In the thousands of worlds, the limit can reach millions of miles. In the world, the limit can reach hundreds of millions of miles. In this case, the rank of the magic weapon is almost completely integrated with the space in the pagoda. When the heavens and earth are transformed, the heavenly artifacts are transformed, and if the heavens and earth are not transformed, it is impossible to transform and promote. What a pit! This completely restrained the original soldiers who could be promoted. How terrible and how amazing the resources it takes to make a cave grow and transform, and a place to grow. Not to mention, this pagoda needs to be complete, At least 5 floors, that is, 5 spaces to support, let alone add other tower layers in the future. It may be transformed into 7 floors, 9 floors, and 13 floors, 33 floors, or even more. It's even more scary. This is definitely an unimaginable bottomless pit. How many resources should be devoured, Yi Tianxing can no longer imagine. But it is also an inconceivable horror treasure. Not to mention, as long as it grows up, the pagoda will be suppressed at will. That is, the destructive force caused by several worlds directly crushing the past is absolutely unimaginable. If they are transformed into 1,000 worlds, if they are directly suppressed, the power will be crushed into instant flour. Turned into dregs. I can't imagine how terrible that is. After getting this tower foundation, Yi Tianxing was worried and happy in his heart. The worry is that this is simply a bottomless pit. The good news is that this is definitely the most powerful sermon. The key is whether it can be cultivated. Once there are no resources, they will be dragged down by this treasure and become completely wasteful. This is really a big pit. Extremely pitted. At the same time of sorrow in the heart, in Yi Tianxing's heart, a stubborn and dissatisfied thought was born, a ray of self-confidence was born in the eyes, and he secretly said, since you want to make the destiny, then you must sacrifice the strongest one. Others may not be able to downgrade me. If you do not have the resources, go for it and grab it. I do not believe that I will not be able to sacrifice the strongest sermon. As long as I do not die, I have countless years to search for resources. Yes, Xuanwangjian is here, I will only become stronger. What I think is definitely not just a 5-story pagoda. Sooner or later, I will let countless strong people see my tower, and I will be frightened. Quote. Secretly settled in my heart. No more hesitation. With a break in my heart, I took the bow of the meteorite into my hand, recognized the Lord by dripping blood, and trained with true qi, the blood refining different treasures. Sacrifice cost lives to the soldiers. Brush. The meteoric bow turned into a streamer and penetrated into the body in the first time, and appeared in Shanghai. Ding. Almost immediately, I saw that the pagoda shook, exuding a magical light, and rolled the meteorite bow unceremoniously. Appears in the tower. Inside the tower, there is an endless chaotic world. The bow of the meteor star burst into bloom, and invisible arrows shot towards the chaos, causing the chaos to break instantly, and the world opened up in the chaos. In an instant, it disappeared. In Shanghai, it can be seen that the glazed pagoda was quickly formed at the speed visible to the naked eye, and it was completely formed in a blink of an eye. In the second-level pagoda, there is also a whole sky space, 1 mile in size, and the meteoric bow merges into this heaven and earth. Be part of a pagoda. The 5th floor is a tower. It will be completed in one go today. Others don't have so many treasures. For me, it's just the easiest. The space door has also been integrated into me. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath, without hesitation, to the newly obtained space door. It also sacrifices life-saving magic weapon and integrates into the body. In an instant, it was also swallowed up by the pagoda. In the ground breaking away, the 3rd tower body suddenly condensed and grew out. Psychic mirror. The psychic mirror is put into the pagoda, and the pagoda grows again. Reach the 4th floor. Already have a model of a pagoda. War sword. In front of him, the harvested sword entered the body and merged into the pagoda. Suddenly, the 5th floor tower body condensed directly, and the 1st floor tower tip also condensed at the first time. A complete 5-story pagoda transformed directly in this moment. Finally consolidate the pagoda. After watching the 5-story pagodas condensed out of the top of the tower, Yi Tianxing couldn't help feeling relieved. With the top of the tower, he could be regarded as a truly complete pagoda. The air engines emanating from the pagoda have become extremely different, integrated into one, without exposing any breath. Well, how could this be? However, just when I was relieved, I suddenly saw that the mysterious spirit bead in the body flew without warning and approached the pagoda. Instead of being swallowed up by the pagoda, it turned into a streamer, appeared at the top of the pagoda, merged into the top of the tower, and turned into a pearl, which turned out to be the perfect root pagoda. Not good. Almost immediately, Yi Tianxing felt that the space in Lingju within the Lingju suddenly changed, and the space began to collapse. As if at this moment, it would be completely destroyed. I couldn't help worrying about the treasures stored in the space of Lingju. If an accident really happens, the loss is too great to be estimated, and you can find a piece of tofu and run to death. Fortunately, Lingju seems to have a hint of consciousness. Before the space collapses, the items in Lingju space are directly transferred to the space in the pagoda. Immediately, Lingju space collapsed. Within the spirit beads, it becomes a gray chaotic world directly. A lot of chaotic air rolled. A wave of chaos blended into the entire pagoda from the top of the tower. Rumble. The pagoda trembled. Within the pagoda, 5 cave sky spaces, under the profusion of chaotic air, began to grow at a speed visible to the naked eye. The earth was derived, the space expanded, the sky was higher and the ground was thicker. In a blink of an eye, the 5 cave sky spaces all evolved into a size of 10 miles. 10 times more than before. Stone beads are set on the top of the tower and blend perfectly with the pagoda. However, the space within the spirit beads completely disappeared, and there was only a gray chaotic atmosphere. Moreover, the chaos space in the whole spiritual pearl is not large, and it is also 10 miles in size. It can't be seen in it, but Yi Tianxing can feel its size range. How could this be? The previous information obtained from the pagoda did not occur in this way. I did not expect that the mysterious spirit bead in the body would suddenly merge with the pagoda, and the original space of the spiritual bead would directly collapse into a chaotic space. This situation is completely different from the normal transformation of the pagoda before. This is a mutation. Is there anything wrong? I just want a fateful treasure. How to make it look like this? It's a twist and turn. What kind of trouble is it? www.novelhall.com, but it seems that it should not be a bad thing. Quote. Yi Tianxing smiled secretly, but did not feel any bad in the process. This spirit bead is too mysterious, and has been following him since the cataclysm. Until now, I haven't figured out what kind of treasure it is. Later, the spirit bead swallowed up the treasure and transformed, opening up the space of the bead. Unexpectedly, the space inside is now directly destroyed, transformed into chaotic space, and integrated into the pagoda. This is simply unexpected. Fortunately, this is not a bad thing. The integration of this spiritual bead transformed the pagoda in an instant. The background has greatly increased. All the important treasures in my body are all condensed into such a pagoda. In the future, this will be the treasure of my Sermana Sente Not A Hongmengtiandi Tower. Yi Tianxing's eyes flashed, and he uttered a light drink. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 236 AA 1/4 A Fangxi. For subscription recommendation. Come on. A pound A not A. Hongmengtiandi Tower. Hongmeng, the beginning of all things, the source of heaven and earth. It's infinite, it's infinite, it's infinite. Emperor Tian, A cent A not A cent A not A looking down on eternity, despising immortals and gods, suppressing 9 heavens and 10 earths, being invincible, standing at the very top of heaven and earth, truly supreme. The name Hongmengtiandi Tower shows its own expectations and ambitions. One day I am the Emperor of Heaven, and that pagoda is the real Emperor of Heaven, suppressing the heavens and earth. Gao Shi Tianzhao bowed his head. Ding! The pagoda in the body felt, and 5 ancient puppets of Hongmengtiandi Tower emerged from above, hidden in the pagoda. Emitting an invisible momentum, she immediately converged and disappeared. A crystal-glazed Hongmengtiandi Tower repressed in the sea of A cent A not A cent A not A God. The entire Shanghai is as solid as a mountain. On the pagoda, there are thousands of qi. There seems to be chaotic air rolled down from the spiritual beads on the top of the tower. That spirit bead naturally drew the vitality of heaven and earth from nothingness. In the spirit bead, it became chaos, and finally poured into the pagoda, merged into the heaven and earth in the pagoda, and strengthened the origin a little bit and strengthened the origin of heaven and earth. This kind of speed is unsatisfactory, and the victory is persevering. Let Hongmengtiandi Tower not continue to extract the true energy from Shanghai and devour the vitality of heaven and earth. Moreover, the space inside the tower appears extremely secure. These are all metamorphoses that occur after the Lingju has been incorporated. It can be said that this is a good side. This world-first martial arts conference can be said to have achieved a great harvest. Its strength has increased greatly, and its combat power has been improved. It is much stronger than a few days ago. Now I can crush 10 of my former ones. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath and slowly stood up from the futon. A glimmer of joy emerged from the brow. Today's cultivation, the immortal cultivation, Shanghai realm is the 6th most important cultivation practice, Hei Ding Kiming. Moreover, it is within easy reach of the 8th Naruto. Physical power is extremely close to a horrible height of 80,000 kilograms. Squeak. Pushing the door open, in the courtyard, a quiet figure heard it, slowly turned around, watching Yi Tianxing coming out of the quiet room. His face could not help showing a touch of surprise, saying, "Brother Yi, you came out of the retreat. Great, I asked Chef Lai to help you prepare your meals." Quote. The surprise on Kai Yan's face could not be masked. Previously, Yi Tianxing said that he would retreat. He originally thought that the retreat would take a long time. I did not expect that it would only end in 2 days. This accident is naturally a surprise. No need, it's still early, just after the morning, before noon, there is no need to bother Lai He to go to work. Besides, I'm not hungry for the time being. Yi Tianxing came forward with a smile and took Yusho, saying, "Retreat. For 2 days, I still don't know what has changed in the town. Let's go and see." Quote. Well, there are a lot of people in the town these 2 days. Many people came to the town along the lighthouse. Every day, new people arrive in Xuanwang town. Jiayu village has been laughing for 2 days. A lot of people have joined the household registration. Now the population in our town has skyrocketed. Quote. Kai Yan smiled with joy on his face. No one wants more people in their town. Can become more prosperous. Especially in this troubled world, an additional population can be added to itself. In this regard, Kai Yan was naturally very happy. Then let's go and see. Yi Tianxing secretly rejoiced. The establishment of the lighthouse already knew in my heart that Xuanwang town will usher in a development. It seems that the results are amazing. Except for the mansion, walk on the surrounding streets. The street looks very neat, and all kinds of garbage are cleaned up into a specially made trash bin. After being filled, they will be uniformly disposed of. Not to mention, at least on the ground neat and clean. There is no big smell, and you can feel comfortable while walking on the street. Mayor, Miss Kai. The mayor came out so soon. Looking at the momentum, there must be a breakthrough and a breakthrough. It is really good. The higher the repair by Yi Mayor, the more secure we are in Xuanwang town. However, the mayor said that in Xuanwang town, we need everyone like a dragon, and everyone is a strong person, so that we can become stronger, not bullied, and not bullied by those beastly monsters. Yi Tianxing and Kai Yan walked on the street. The passing people saw each other and said hello. His face was hilarious. There is a kind of stability in my heart. Before I knew that Yi Tianxing was in retreat, but I hadn't seen him for 2 days, and I was a little bit lost. Now I saw him in front of me. Immediately, there seemed to be pillars in my heart, and I felt like I had a spirit. Spiritual multiplication. Watching Yi Tianxing go away. Among the crowd, some people lamented. I heard that the mayor is extremely young, and I did not expect that even at this age, he would be able to build this huge Xuanwang town, which is amazing. Brother, you're new here, but I don't know. When we were in Xuanwang town, we were attacked by a lot of beasts and monsters every day. Has long been reduced to blood in the mouth of the ferocious beast. Where is there now? Quote. The original people in the town said with a smile. Only those who have been growing up with Xuanwang town can understand that it was not easy at first. This is a land of pleasure. They will guard with their lives now, and even in the future. That's right, it's too miserable. In the past, a group of us died in the wilderness every day. If we didn't find a cave and guard the entrance together, I would have died in the hands of those beasts and monsters. Fortunately, we saw the town beacon, otherwise, the rest will die. Every time I go hunting, someone will die, every time I try to fight. It's not easy to survive. Quote. Some people who came from the wilderness and joined Xuanwang town booed. In the wilderness, the biggest problem is eating. If you do not eat it, you have to starve alive. If you do not want to starve to death, you have to go outside desperately, and every day someone will die. Not necessarily filling your stomach. Even if you go to the tree to pick fruits, you will pick poisonous ones and die under the teeth of poisonous snake venomous insects. In those days, life is worse than death. Fortunately, in the past 2 days, I saw the flashing lighthouse in Xuanwang town at night. One after another came to town. After learning about some things in Xuanwang town, almost many people did not hesitate to choose to join in and registered in Xuanwang town. Become people in town. Not only can you eat, but you can also get practice exercises. Combat skills. These days are like dreaming. The kind of gratitude that Yi Tianxing gave them all is naturally needless to say. I can't wait to engrave the longevity tablet in the home, and worship every day. Walking around the town, many strange faces appeared in his eyes. For these people, Yi Tianxing all smiled and nodded after seeing it. Unconsciously, came to the area north of the town. Hurry up, Daniel, quickly bring the wood over. Make me a plaque. Second dog, don't rest. Bring the saw over. Let's build this house quickly. This big slate has me covered. In front of him, it was a spectacle. A large number of artisans were working. Houses are constantly rising. The houses look huge, and they are all a little far apart. Moreover, a large area was vacated with bluestone slabs. Smooth and smooth. Hu Bin was constantly sipping and commanding. Master, you're out of customs. Huang Chengyan was standing side by side and watching the progress of the construction around him. When he saw Yi Tianxing appearing with Kai Yan, he couldn't help seeing him for a week. Old Huang, what is this to do? Yi Tianxing asked. Master, this time the lighthouse was set up, and the results were very good. Nearly scattered people, human beings, and people are approaching us. In just 2 days, nearly tens of thousands of people have arrived in the town. Entered the household registration. I decided to settle in Xuanwang town. This is just scattered people. I estimate that the nearby village should soon send someone to our Xuanwang town. Quote. Huang Chengyan said with a smile. Once here, it is definitely for the purpose of inquiring about the news and even the existence of intercommunication. Other villages may have some unique specialties but lack other things. Now they can gather together to build a market. To provide for those who come from other villages to live and trade. The houses here are all built up. One house can accommodate multiple people, which can fully meet the housing problem of people coming from any village. Then formulate the transaction currency, order and rules. In this way, not only can Xuanwang town truly become the center of the surrounding human gathering place, but also the eternal coin can be promoted. Quote. This northern area is really intended to build a market. If it can be done, then Xuanwang town will benefit from it, and truly establish its core position in the vicinity of it. www.novelhall.com, a place where you can safely trade in exchange for your own market. That importance is important for any village. In other words, it is inestimable, and the location of the bazaar will be the center of the surrounding area. Not only the benefits on the surface, but also the benefits of invisibility, are countless. Well, Huang Lao's decision is good. It is time to promote eternal coin. As long as it is promoted, it is the most important thing to really establish the value and status of the currency. However, the measurement of the value of eternal coin must be carefully considered. This one point, Shui Jin should be more understanding. Only after the currency value is set, can it officially begin to circulate. Quote. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath and said quickly. This is an eternal coin, not a gold or silver currency in the world. The standards of measurement cannot be shared. Must be remade. This is the currency from monks. It cannot be said that for ordinary items, you also need several eternal coins, which will cause market confusion. Once trouble occurs, it will not be conducive to the circulation of eternal coins. Therefore, the final rules must be thoroughly formulated before release. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 237 AA 1/4 A Poplar Village. These 2 days, I have a cold, I have been coughing, my nose is blocked, and it is very uncomfortable. £1 A not A. Currency stability, the more stable the better. Currency is related to people's livelihood. The more stable the currency is, the more stable the region is. However, it is necessary to make the currency truly credible. What is credibility is to make the monks trust it. Convinced by its purchasing power. This requires the currency to be linked to the value of the goods. This point is very important. For example, how many eternal coins are needed to buy a pound of feral beast meat, how much food can be purchased for 1 eternal coin, how many weapons can be purchased, and so on. All of these need to be carefully studied, and the price in them can be accurately determined, so as to position eternal coin. Of course, the positioning here can only make a basic measurement of the price of goods. How much the specific price can fluctuate on this basis, it depends on the needs of buyers and sellers. Well, I have discussed this carefully with Shui Jin several times, but I still need to think about it carefully and let the protagonist personally determine it. Huang Chengyan said with a smile. These things have already been considered when deciding to establish a marketplace. I also talked to Shui Jin and others to discuss it a few times, and Lu Shi also participated in it, and already set the general tone. Just need to discuss it again and wait for Yi Tianxing to confirm it before implementation. Once implemented, it will greatly help the civilization of Xuanwang Town. This is the first step from privatization to privatization. The most important cornerstone. After the completion of the construction of the city, call Lu and Shui Jin together, and let's discuss them carefully. After confirming, I will put a batch of eternal coins into the Wanbao Hall and spread them by Shui Jin. This kind of dissemination is carried out in Fengshi first. After there are no problems, it will be thoroughly promoted. Quote. Yi Tianxing nodded his head and looked at the fast-growing Fang market, agreeing. Later, Yi Tianxing talked to Huang Chengyan for a few more words, and he had some understanding of what happened in the past 2 days, and there were no major changes. Things are also developing on the bright side. Especially in terms of population, a large number of new populations have been obtained. The total population of Xuanwang Town is close to 50,000. At dusk, in the town, one after another the lights were illuminated. Especially on that huge lighthouse, the light is like a little sun, dispels the darkness and brings light, and guides the direction for the human being lost in the wilderness. Ding! A bell rang on the wall. There is a bell, is there something going on? I do not sentino. Even the beast monsters around us all seem to know the strength of our Xuanwang Town. We dare not approach it easily, and even hunt. They are all soldiers in the army. They entered the jungle around to hunt for beasts to sharpen combat skills. Otherwise, even the fierce animal meat may not be able to eat now. Quote. Let's go and see together. If there are really monsters, I would like to go up and kill a few. After so long practicing, I am not afraid of those monsters. In the evening, a large number of people gathered directly in the square and set up large cauldrons. A large number of chefs who knew how to cook began to get busy, cooking rice, cooking vegetables, washing vegetables, and taking out all kinds of fierce animal meat. Cooking in various ways. Lai He is cooking for Yi Tianxing. Take out your top cooking skills and cook a table. With the sound of bells, many people are curious. Some walk towards the city wall, others look towards the city gate. Outside Xuanwang Town, it can be seen that a group of more than 100 people are approaching. This team can feel a sturdy atmosphere at a glance. Each holds a weapon and has a sword. Even if no sword can be found, he holds a spear made of old bamboo. He wore leather armor made of fierce animal skin. Wearing it, it really has a fierce air. Walking in the wilderness, with these leather armors on them, they can scare some weak beasts and dare not approach. The person headed by is a young man in his 20s, holding a long knife in his hands, his eyes shining brightly, exuding his sturdy spirit, and the more than 100 men following him are no better than the world in the past. The soldiers should be inferior. All are battle-hardened. Young master, the lighthouse is in this city. After a few days of walking, we finally arrived. A middle-aged man with a very savvy face said happily. Xuanwang Town is very large and its walls are tall, it looks no different from the small town in ancient times. Therefore, at first glance, these people regarded Xuanwang Town in front of them as a city. It's great. I didn't expect to find a human city and find other human gathering places. It's so good, I don't know where it is. The people inside are not friendly. Someone said with some concern. Don't worry, since the lighthouse is hanging here, it is itself attracting other people. There will certainly not be too much malice. Now in this world, there are fierce beasts and monsters. Our people are living in deep waters. Struggling for survival. It may not be very easy to kill yourself. However, just be alert. The young master heard and shook his head. In fact, I also know in my heart that even if there is really any maliciousness, with their more than 100 people, they will definitely not be able to turn up any big storms. Yeah, this is the best opportunity to connect with other human beings. If you miss this time, you have to contact other people, and you do not know how long it will take. We in Baiyang village lack weapons and food. Many people are now connected. The stomach is not full. Whether the village can survive, depends on whether it can get enough harvest this time. The middle-aged man said with emotion. Well, Uncle Ping, I know that my father has asked me to bring the treasure of our Baiyang village, and we must let me Baiyang village to survive this crisis. Xiaoju nodded heavily and said Shen Shang. The visitor came from a village outside the valley called Baiyang village. The village established by Baiyang. Baiyang comes from the martial arts family, and his family has practiced martial arts for generations. It can be considered as a large family. In the integration of all realms, he appears the eternal continent, and also has the most common village order. There are some servant guards of the Bai family nearby. Although the family is partly separated, the important thing is that the son Bai Lang is still around. With the trust in my heart, I desperately established Bai Yang village. Gather a large number of people, fight against fierce beasts and monsters, rely on their own cultivation, even if it is rebuilt, it is very fast, and stabilize the situation in crisis. Eventually supported. But the village lacks food and food. There is even more lack of weapon, drugs and so on. It was difficult for the village to support it. After seeing the lighthouse, I finally decided to send a group of people to open the channel and connect with other humans to see if I could find a way to strengthen myself. Leading the team was his son, Bai Lang. Nearby is Bai Ping, the butler of the Bai family for many years. He is a family member, loyal, reliable, and smart. Coming here along the way can be described as wading through mountains and rivers. Lost a lot of manpower. Fortunately, I finally arrived here. Looking at the majestic walls in front of me, whether it is Bailong or Baiping, I feel that this road, even if it is hard, is worth it. Who is coming? A questioning voice was heard from the city wall. Bai Lang looked up, but immediately couldn't help taking a sigh of relief, only to see, on the city wall, a soldier wearing a helmet, holding a spear, a bow and arrow, and even a large number of people who looked like ordinary people standing on the city wall and looked over together. There seemed to be an invisible pressure in those eyes, which made Bai Lang's subconscious air solidify, and he felt he was about to suffocate. I was horrified in my heart. Such a strong evil spirit, these soldiers will definitely not be furnishings. They must be the elites killed from the blood of the dead mountains. There are even stronger than me. And those ordinary people, how can they convey such a strong momentum? What is this place and how can it be so scary? I was horrified, but the first time I answered, "This general, we are the people of Bai Yang village. This time I came here bravely because I saw the lighthouse in the precious land, so I came to investigate and hope to find it. Other humans, communicate." Quote. It turned out to be the brother of Bai Yang village, and this lighthouse was set up by my Xuanwang town. It is to guide the surrounding human villages, and homeless people come, so that everyone can have a chance to communicate. Please, 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 it's a human being, and I'm welcome in Xuanwang town. Quote. On the city wall, Wang Dahu grinned grinning when they heard the origin of Bailong below. He doesn't care if the following is true or false. During the day, Huang Chengyan told them that Xuanwang town opened its doors to welcome visitors from all directions, especially those from the villages. This is the foundation for the future expansion of Xuanwang town. As long as it is not an enemy, you can welcome in. Xuanwang town, this turned out to be a town. Bai Lang was shocked again. He originally thought it was a city, but he didn't expect it to be a town. This made him feel a thriller. He was shocked when he saw Wang Dahu come down, opened the gate, and hurriedly asked, "Dare to ask General Zun first name?" Quote. Howling Wang Dahu, "It a cent a not a cent s time for you to come. Now is the time to eat in the town. You have arrived at this time, but it a cent a not a cent s a blessing. The food in our town is pretty good. Let a cent a not a cent s go and eat together. Meals, www.novelhall.com, take you where you live again and have a good night's rest." Quote. Wang Dahu said with a smile. "So thank you, General Wang." Bai Lang heard it, and was immediately delighted, thanking him. After walking in the wilderness for so long, they were tired and sleepy and hungry. Lao Feng, take a few brothers and led them from Bai Yang village. Wang Dahu said to Feng Yumo aside. Feng Yumo has good qualifications and is willing to work hard. He is also a general in the army. Although there is not much to say, but he is practical and willing to practice, and he is willing to use his life. The cultivation is now extremely good, reaching the second level of Shanghai. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 238 AA 1/4 A shocked. There is something going out today, and I will be back in the afternoon. The update is a bit late. I do not send a not a centino if I can catch up in chapter 2. If it a sent a not a cent s too late, I a sent a not a cent ll make up tomorrow. A pound a not a. It is not far from the third place of Shanghai. Iron blood, this kind of merit in the army, the more generals in the army, the more kills, the faster the growth rate. In the early realm, the speed of improvement is the forefront of many exercises. The lethality is great, the cultivation is successful, and at the glance of people, evil spirits strike, making people fear. As far as Bailong is concerned, He is only the second most important cultivation practice in Shanghai, but still feels an unspeakable threat to Feng Yumo. Brothers of Baiyang village, please inside. Feng Yumo was leading the way expressionlessly. He himself is not much talker. Thank you, General Feng. Bai Lang did not show any neglect. He did all kinds of rituals well and pursued that many people are not strange. When entering Xuanwang town, the first thing that catches my eyes is the bright lights. Under the illumination of the street lights, all the places that can be seen in the surrounding site are brightly lit, like daylight. So bright. What kind of lamp is this? How can it be the same as daylight? Everything is clearly seen, just like it is in the sun. I can see the ants on the ground. This Xuanwang town is really amazing. Before I saw the capital city at night, only red lanterns would be hung in front of some noble doors. The degree of lighting can never be compared with this. There is no comparable. It is incredible, it is incredible. Quote, it's unbelievable that the streets are neat, the houses are spectacular, and the huge trees are so erected here. As soon as they entered Xuanwang town, Baiyang village and their party made a series of exclaiming sounds, and the exclamation of that sound completely revealed their inner shock. In the village of Baiyang, ICA na cent a not a cent even eat enough food. IA cent a not a cent am hungry on both ends for 3 days, let alone eat. The living is a problem. The environment and various facilities in the village are not all complete. Invasion of fierce beasts. Where can you see such neat streets, so bright street lights? Not to mention that it is now in troubled times. Even if it was under the rule of the dynasty, you can't see this situation. The same street lamp is little sun, let alone see it, never heard of it. These, in their eyes, each of them are extremely novel. This is the Qiming lamp. The magic lamp developed by Lu Shi, the master of the cabinet of Tiangong in our town, can emit light as long as the spar is placed, and the light emitted is not as good as the previous oil lamps. How many times to light up? With this light, our Xuanwang town, even at night, is no different from daytime. Even fierce monsters dare not easily offend at night. Quote, a soldier said proudly, people looking at Baiyang village are like soil buns, and this pride is born. It is also the first time to come to the eternal continent, but there is a huge gap between the treatment and life of each other. This is the sense of superiority. This made several soldiers have a stronger sense of belonging to Xuanwang town. What is it? Such a tall pagoda has a glamorous color, so gorgeous. Such a pagoda is really a miracle and a magical workmanship. Bai Lang looked at the Tibetan scripture pavilion, which glowed with colorful lights under the illumination of the illumination lamp. Inquired curiously. Such a pagoda is absolutely unprecedented and has never been seen before. The whole body is cast with glazed glass, which is absolutely an incredible miracle. Many people in Baiyang village opened their mouths and looked unbelievable. Startled. This is a treasure in our town. The real miracle was placed by the protagonist in the town. It is a treasure of heaven and earth. It is a Tibetan scripture pavilion with various books and exercises. Combat skills, magical powers. In our town, everyone can practice. The main man said, everyone is like a dragon. Everyone is strong. It is really strong. As long as we are in town, everyone is a monk. Then you will not be afraid of the beast monsters outside. Ordinary people can hunt and kill the beasts. Quote, a soldier is full of worship fanaticism. When looking at the Tibetan Buddhist pavilion, there is a kind of respect. The Tibetan Buddhist pavilion is the starting place of their practice, the sacred place of cultivation, and its place in the heart is absolutely invaluable. Your Xuanwang town can be cultivated by everyone. How is this possible? Bai Ping couldn't help but incredulously open his mouth, an incredible expression. Gongfa combat skills, in which hands, is not a cover for desperation. For a Gongfa skill, a combat skill, can flow into the blood, kill people and set fire. Even in the village of Baiyang, Baiyang is from the Wulin family. After the reward, his original exercises were transformed and perfected. There are several exercises and techniques, but only some of them can be practiced close to their confidants. It's like the hundreds of people now are loyal to be taught. Now here, even saying that any ordinary person can practice, this is a joke, and it is subverting their original cognition. Even ordinary people are monks, so what are they? Is this status not threatened? Of course it is true. The hero and the hero are very rough and broad-minded. When the village was first established, this Tibetan scripture pavilion was established. In it, various precious exercises were stored. A free exercise in combat skills. Formally stepping into the cultivation path, and then to exchange higher grade skills and combat skills, you need merit points. Only sufficient merit points, even the best exercises, can be exchanged here. Quote. Feng Yumo said flatly, looks extremely proud. It's incredible that Xuanwang Town is so incredible. No wonder, when I saw the ordinary people on the city wall, I felt a powerful threat from them. I thought it was an illusion. Now it seems that the feeling is true. All these people have cultivation practices. They are all monks. It is simply incredible. Some people have such a broad mind. Give the people a chance to become stronger. Quote. While shocked secretly in Bai Lang's heart, he also developed a strong interest and respect for the Lord of Xuanwang Town. Regardless of the purpose, giving everyone an opportunity to cultivate is definitely a pioneering initiative in the entire human race. For humans, it is absolutely of great significance, extraordinary. Not to mention, the people in Xuanwang Town are definitely stronger than other villages. An ordinary person will not be inferior to the elite soldiers. It is such a great courage to provide one exercise method and one combat skill for free. Isn't you afraid of the leakage of the exercise method? Bai Ping muttered to himself. Feng Yumo smiled indifferently when he heard it. He divulged the secret and vowed his demon. He could not sent say a word, he could not sent write a word. Someone tried it, it couldn't be done at all. It is impossible, the possibility of leaks, infinitely close to zero. I really want to go in and have a look. Bai Lang looked at the Jingjing Pavilion with emotion, and had endless longing for it. The scripture pavilion does not reject foreigners. However, if you do not belong to Xuanwang Town and do not belong to Xuanwang Town, you can go to the first floor to watch ordinary books, but you cannot view the classics such as the exercises and techniques. Feng Yumo heard it, looked at Bai Lang, and said slowly. The Zhangjing Pavilion does not reject anyone, but it is the most important to be qualified to view the classics. The Zhangjing Pavilion only recognizes the Tianji card. If you do not have the Tianji card, I'm sorry, you will not get the exercises technical. This point, under the supervision of Xingwang, has nothing to hide. Even if you can't get the skills, it's worthwhile to go in and see for yourself. Bai Lang's eyes brightened and he said with joy. Dare to ask the general, I don't know how many people you have in Xuanwang Town. Bai Ping looked curiously at the extremely lively picture in the square in front. Now there are about 50,000 people. Feng Yumo also heard from the people in the Temple of Heaven that he had some knowledge of this number. There are more than 50,000 people. One of the guards heard that his mouth was closed. This number is really amazing. In previous ancient dynasties, 50,000 people could be counted as the total population of a small city. It is far beyond the limits of a township. In particular, the township generally includes the population of the surrounding villages. Now it's here directly. This population is hardly different from that in cities. When there are over 10,000 people, that is a crowd of people. It is conceivable how large the area of Xuanwang Town is now. General Feng, what is that? How do I see moonlight shining directly on an ancient well? When Bai Lang was approaching the square, he also found that the moonlight in the sky seemed to be attracted by a mysterious force, one after the other in the square. An ancient well gathered in the past, so that the ancient well was shrouded in the moonlight, and looked very amazing. You know at a glance that it is not mortal. That's the moon well, the holy thing in our Xuanwang Town. www.novelhall.com. An ancient well can gather moonlight, condense well water can heal injuries, heal wounds, and drive away all diseases. If you are injured, you can rely on this moon well to save your life. This is a holy thing in our town. You cannot easily approach it, otherwise the people in the town will be unhappy. Quote. Feng Yumo reminded. From the appearance of Moonwell to the present, I don't know how many lives have been saved. In the hearts of the people in the town, this is the holy thing, which cannot be blasphemed, and even some people will worship and pray beside the Moonwell. This move has been recognized by many people and followed spontaneously. At night, it is also a unique scenery. So it is, Bai Ping said with emotion. Since entering Xuanwang Town, the shock in my heart has never stopped. All kinds of knowledge have subverted their own perception. If you don't come in, you will never believe it easily. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote, your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 239 AA1 quarter A1 after another. Kiming Lantern, Tibetan Scripture Pavilion, Moon Well. And the huge deterrent tower standing in the town. all beyond the original cognition. The shock is conceivable. If not, they are all monks, and they have also accepted the integration of all realms and evolved into what is now the eternal continent. Once these subversive pictures are seen, they may really feel like entering a fairyland. Compared with Xuanwang Town, Baiyang Village is simply not worth mentioning. No matter whether it is strength or other aspects, there is no way to compare. I can't imagine how this Xuanwang Town was established. It is really incredible to be able to achieve this level in a short period of time. Bai Lang sighed secretly. Dear folks, these are the ethnic brothers who came over from the nearby Baiyang Village. We will stay in our town today, and everyone will treat these guests well. I will also visit the city walls. Trouble everyone. Feng Yumo came to the square, right? The people spoke around. The people around him heard, with bright eyes, smiles on their faces. Originally the brother of Baiyang Village, come here, there is fragrant white rice. As long as it comes, it is our VIP guest in Xuanwang Town. The enemy is here, there are swords and guns, the VIP guest is here, and we also have hot dishes here. Quote. Some chefs saw and immediately greeted Bailong with a smile, and they came to an open space. Began to set up the cauldron. Have a special meal. There are really other villages coming to Xuanwang Town, and our people will not be extinct, and we will not be alone. However, depending on the situation, they should not be very good. Yeah, we have a mayor in Xuanwang Town. I don't know how much better than other villages. If it wasn't for the mayor, I'm afraid we won't have such a good day now. Come and come, the brothers of Baiyang Village, come here first to drink a bowl of hot fish soup. This fish soup made by piranhas is not only delicious, but also can make up the body's vitality and blood. Strengthening the body, training and doing more with less. Brothers are welcome. In our town, if you want to eat, that's absolutely enough. The food in our town is very abundant, but we are not afraid of being hungry. The people around them also showed kind smiles and greeted them warmly. After a short while, it was lumped together. Many people are also very curious about what is happening in the village outside. When asked, they also got the situation of Baiyang Village. Compared with the two, they booed in their hearts, were more satisfied with their own lives, and recognized Xuanwang Town more strongly. Now, even if they were driven away, they would not leave Xuanwang Town. To die or die in Xuanwang Town. This is their home. In the future, they will marry a wife, have children, settle down and build a foundation. At the moment, in the mansion, in the lobby, Yi Tianxing was sitting on top. On both sides are Huang Chengyan, Lu Shi, Hu Bin, Yang Yi's father and son, Shui Jin, Jia Yukan, Wang Fengshan, Zhang Yu, and so on. Regarding the arrival of Baiyang Village, it has been reported here as soon as possible. Yi Tianxing nodded secretly in his heart. The arrival of Baiyang Village was the first one, but it was definitely not the last one. This was a sign that a large number of villages would inevitably follow. Bring a tide. Zhang Yu, who was in the town before, was all his own, but now with the arrival of people from outside villages, the issue of law and order in our town is the primary issue. The military is in charge of external signs. This is the responsibility of the military cabinet. The stability in the town must be controlled by your 6 doors. No matter what you do, there is only one thing, that is, there must be no big troubles in the town, but whenever there is a dispute, arrest immediately. Especially in the new building. In the city of Fang. It must be stable. Quote. Yi Tianxing looked at Zhang Yu and said, these 6 days, there is not much that the 6 doors can do. Zhang Yu was shocked, and naturally knew the meaning of Yi Tianxing. This burden fell on her body, and her heart couldn't help but be overjoyed, secretly saying, these days, 6 doors are formed, and other departments have room to play. The Tiangong Pavilion has various construction inventions. The gourmet hall is responsible for the food in the entire town, and is also responsible for the food of the protagonist. The military aircraft court defends foreign enemies, hunts and kills beasts. Can record merit. The Wanbaodian is said to be preparing to issue eternal coins, let alone the Tiandadian, to control the construction planning and people's livelihood of the entire town. ICA na sent a not a sent to do anything with my 6 doors. Everyone is a town resident. Everyone cherishes the present life. Where can there be trouble? One by one, they see a na sent a not a sent to wait for time to cultivate, devote their efforts to build villages, and open up wasteland. No idlers. No one is going to make trouble. I have 6 doors to fight flies. Now it finally comes in handy. Zhang Yu was bitter at heart before, walking in the town, watching everyone's hot work, wandering around with nothing to do. The taste is needless to say. I wish I could carry the stones by myself, and I do not senti want to hang out. Do not senti worry, our 6 doors have already recruited a large number of people who have already captured the resume before. Now everyone is practicing, all of them are good hands. Even if there are many villages arriving, relying on my 6 doors, the manpower will definitely prevent any chaos in the town. There will be no chaos in Fangxi. Quote. Zhang Yu said firmly. Between the looks, I was very confident. For this matter, I was ready to devote all my energy to make it beautiful, and let the people in the town know that the 6 doors are definitely not just for dry rice. Well, you just have to pay more attention. At that time, more people will be arranged to visit the city. There is no need to bully the city. Yi Tianxing nodded and said. The protagonist, as the protagonist said, once the Fang market is open, it will issue eternal coins. The subordinates suggested that in the Fang city, a place to issue currency is set up, such as a money house, in exchange for eternal coins. A good practice is to post the prices of various items in the market. If people from other villages bring special products, they can first purchase the special products in their hands, exile eternal coins to those villages, and let them use eternity money to buy the goods in our town, even the goods that are needed. In this way, it can constitute a currency circulation. Quote. Shui Jin's eyes flashed a savvy, confidently said, as long as the circulation starts, people in the surrounding villages will recognize the eternal currency, and future transactions will recognize the eternal currency. But to convince everyone, it is necessary to make the most accurate measurement in terms of price and the value of various items. What is the specific value of special products brought from other villages? The subordinates may not be very clear, which requires the protagonist to put control. To be convincing, the value of this item must be defined so that both parties are satisfied. Are acceptable. Otherwise, it is an excellent elixir, and you buy it with an eternal coin. This bold behavior, once spread, will ruin your reputation, and you will have no trust in eternal coins in the future. It's like a modern society. At any time, when currency is unstable and prices are unstable, the whole society will be turbulent, people's hearts will be chaotic, and chaos will cause many terrible things. The original money will become like waste paper. Well, I will go to Fang City in person tomorrow. As long as those villages bring treasures and special products, I will personally measure the value, determine the specific amount of currency, and then use this method to estimate the value. It can float up and down, cannot fluctuate significantly. The overall market must not be turbulent. Quote. Yi Tianxing nodded. The opening of Fang City is the most important event in Xuanwang Town. There must be no mess. As long as the first day goes well, then it will be easy to handle. People are inertia. After getting used to it, people's obedience will make everyone thoroughly recognize the existence of eternal currency. I will mint a batch of eternal coins again tonight. I guarantee that tomorrow's eternal coins will keep the market running. The first stage is the most difficult. Eternal coins are not those so-called banknotes. They can be printed as much as you want. They are valued by the credibility of the country. This is the currency that has value in itself. To be minted, you must have the beads and spar. The spar is easy to obtain, and the bead is not easy to agglomerate. Fortunately, there is a cash cow, and some hopes have been gathered. It is completely possible to start minting a batch of eternal coins again. Not to mention in the mansion, when Yi Tianxing and others kept discussing the formulation of currency rules and measuring the value of eternal currency. With the arrival of Baiyang village, impressively, one team after another arrived in Xuanwang Town. In the dark, the lighthouse's guidance is just as striking as the little sun. Luliu village, Guyuan village, Feiyan village, Daqing village, Shuangmu village, Linshui village. The teams coming from these villages are as many as several hundred, and as few as tens or hundreds. The encounters along the way are different. www.novelhall.com. Some people encounter fierce beasts, with heavy casualties, and some smoother. The team arrived in Xuanwang Town more completely. 6 doors were in charge of this pickup. Walking into the town with people from the villages, various thrills in Xuanwang Town also made these people feel a strong shock. At the same time, secretly, some bad thoughts in my heart were all dispelled. Xuanwang Zhen secretly developed a sense of awe. This is the awe of the strong. In the face of forces that can completely crush them, it is natural to obey as much as you obey. The hospitality in the town also made them secretly rejoice. Steaming white rice, delicious fish soup, all kinds of fierce beast meat, and fresh vegetables. God can see the pity. Since they fell on this eternal continent, how long have they never eaten fresh vegetables, steamy white rice? This rice is fragrant and sweet, and it contains a touch of aura. It's so addictive. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 240 AA 1/4 A currency scale. In this Xuanwang town, the white rice with white flowers can be eaten open, and it is full, and the taste is never felt before. It is too delicious. There is no way to use the best rice in the past. Compared to the white rice here, it seems that even rice is beginning to transcend ordinary boundaries. To be transformed into spirit rice. This is not a joke. The seeds of these rice are all taken from Dantian Mingqiao. In Dantian Mingqiao, the rice planted in Lingtian is used to grow the heaven and earth. In the end, the rice contains aura, and its genes are undergoing transformation. As long as it takes a long time to train a few more times, it can be transformed into the most ordinary Lingmi Lingu. In Dantian Mingqiao, the rice in Lingtian has almost transformed. Of course, even if such rice is transformed, it will only transform into the most ordinary spirit rice. Not those Lingmi with special effects. It only contains certain pure heaven and earth aura. When eaten, it can grow into cultivation, temper the constitution, get rid of impurities. It is no longer a grain and cereal, and it contains the dust of earth. In addition, Yi Tianxing also found that this transformation can only occur in Dantian Mingqiao. Just like the rice planted in the field outside the town, what the seeds look like and what the grown rice looks like. Although it contains aura, there are still impurities, but it is sweeter than the original and contains a part of it. Reiki can nourish the body. After refining, it can grow and cultivate. In particular, Yi Tianxing discovered, ordinary rice, when grown, has a short period and can mature and harvest quickly. After the seeds are transformed and a trace of aura is contained, the growth period begins to grow. Moreover, the more aura contained in the seeds, the longer the growth period, if completely transformed into Lingmi. Yi Tianxing estimates that the growth cycle will not be too short. Even if you are full of aura, it will take some time to grow. This is too long for the tens of thousands of people in Xuanwang town to feed the rice, which is not conducive to the stability of the town. If you have food in your hand, you will not panic. For now, the villages arrived in town, eating white rice, and the envy of the people in Xuanwang town was indescribable. This contrast is too strong. This Xuanwang town is really a paradise on earth. People in other villages sighed. Not to mention one night, the surrounding villages arrived in town one after another. After eating and drinking, some people took them directly to the newly built Fangxi city and arranged them in large houses. These houses were extremely large. Each village could be settled in, and the town had been planted. Cotton is produced, cotton quilts are made, and the weather is not cold now, so if you live in a house, you are not afraid to catch cold at night. There are lights in the house, shining like daylight. Even in bed, many people in these villages are tossing and turning back and going to sleep. Talking to each other about the incredible sights I saw before, I didn't fall asleep until late. In the early morning, the sun rises to the east, and the city is in the middle. People in many villages started to wake up. Looking around, suddenly, I saw a group of 6 doors with waist knives catching fast, carrying a very huge object, and quickly entered the Fangxi. Boom! With a crisp sound, the object has been placed on an open space in Fangxi. Brush! Several 6-door captures quickly uncovered the black cloth covering the object, and a huge crystal plate appeared in the city. What is this? This crystal plate looks like a huge glazed plate, but it looks different from the glazed plate and it is displayed so clearly. It looks like white paper. What is written on it? Money price scale. What is this? Eternal coin. What currency is this? The people from the surrounding villages looked in front of the crystal plate made of the bone crystal, and were curious to discuss. On the above, the original white areas directly appeared the ancient fonts. At the top are the big letters. Currency price scale. Miscellaneous rice. 1 eternity coin can buy 100 caddies. Rune. 1 rune can be purchased for 1 eternal coin. Ordinary battle arrows. You can purchase 100 battle arrows with 1 eternal coin. Common sword weapon. You can purchase 1 eternal coin. Quilt. You can buy 1 eternal coin. Tian Lan Dan. 1 piece of 100 eternal coins. Moon well water. 1 eternal coin. Bone battle arrow. 2 eternal coins. Skeleton war bow, a pair of 100 eternal coins. Bone sword, 80 eternal coins. Bone sword, 80 eternal coins. First order fierce beast meat, 10 pounds of an eternal coin. Second order fierce beast meat, 1 eternal coin for 1 pound. On it, the prices of various items are marked clearly. This price is measured by the items in Xuanwang town. The value of eternal coin is also carefully marked out. From grain to weapons, from weapons to elixir, from elixir to feral beast meat. All kinds of items, everything in Xuanwang town, ready to be sold, are all inside. What is marked above is the corresponding price of the item. To buy, Xuanwang Zhenjiang offers. The premise is that there must be eternal coins. There is grain. There is really grain for sale here. It's great, it's great. I know that with the strength of Xuanwang town, how could there be no grain surplus? As long as we buy a batch of grain, we can support Baiyang village. Going down, the people in the village will no longer be hungry. Quote. Seeing Bai Lang, a strong excitement suddenly appeared on his face. Young master, Xuanwang town can buy food, but what is this eternal coin? We don't have it. Bai Ping reminded. All of these items need eternal coins. Obviously, this is a currency promoted in Xuanwang town. I don't know, but since the notice is posted, we will definitely get eternal coins. We can also ask the brothers who catch them fast. Bai Lang said in a calm mood. Great, my Guyuan village is short of food. The people in the village are full of meals. If we can bring back a batch of food from here, then we will be saved in Guyuan village. Xiao Yun also showed ecstasy. No matter what the village is, eating a full stomach is the first problem. Moreover, the most important thing is that the price of this food is cheap, and 1 eternity coin can buy 100 pounds of mixed rice. They asked about this hybrid rice, that is, the white rice they ate last night, which contained aura, but it was not a complete rice, so it was called hybrid rice. However, it can be cultivated by refining gas and strengthening the physical body. 1 eternal coin can buy 100 catties. From the notice, it can be seen that it should be a very cheap price. The point is, what is eternal coin? What is this rune arrow that is so expensive that 1 can be exchanged for 1, and the bone war arrow is more expensive, 2 can be exchanged for 1. This is 200 kilograms of food, enough for many people to eat. Someone exclaimed. Dare to ask the 2 elder brothers, I don't know what the eternal coin is. Here's how to exchange it. A young man approached the 2 arresters and asked. This person is from Luliu village. Listening to his inquiries, many people around his ears raised his ears, secretly paying attention. Eternal coin is a currency minted by Xuanwang town by special means. This currency is quite remarkable. It contains pure energy, which can absorb growth and cultivate itself as authenticity. Moreover, eternal coin is refining. At the same time, it can also increase its cultivation by 3 times, and make it 3 times faster than usual. Quote. Also, our mayor of Xuanwang town will come to Fang City in the next time. You can take out the items you want to sell in the Fang City and set them up at the stall. At that time, the protagonist will come. As long as you value your hands, you will use eternal currency to buy, give a suitable price for acquisition. If there is no acquisition, you can also refer to the price comparison displayed on this price measurement board, and trade each other. At that time, you have eternal currency, can also buy various items in our Xuanwang town. Quote. Moreover, our Xuanwang town has set up the next trading stall here, called Wanbaolo, which was built by the town's Wanbao Hall. As long as you have eternal coins, you can go to buy food, weapons, clothing, elixir, etc. Can be bought here. Quote. The 2 had been ordered before the arrest and knew their responsibilities and tasks. This is dialed. Immediately, the eyes of Bai Lang and others flashed. Uncle Ping, go, let's go back and show us what we bring. Others may not be worth it, but our 3 treasures in Baiyang village should be worth some money. As long as you can exchange for eternity coins, you can buy life-saving food. Quote. Bai Long hurried towards the place where he lived. People in other villages have also returned. Apparently, they are also beginning to prepare to bring their own treasures and trade them in the market. No one can be a fool who can build a village. When he saw the lighthouse, he had guessed that Xuanwang town was gathering in the nearby villages. www.novelhall.com. You can go by yourself, and other villages can also go. In the past, apart from that, you must bring a batch of treasures from your own village. If you really have a chance, you can use it to exchange supplies. Every village has this plan. But the strength of each other is indistinguishable. But they have absolute confidence in the items they bring. You can get enough eternal coins. Not long after, people in villages everywhere have placed their treasures on both sides of the street, in front of the houses they live in. A group of people stood beside, looking forward with anticipation. Some villages began to send people to explore in Fangxi to see what other villages brought, and to see if they coincided with their own items. It is better to make the most correct response. For a while, the real atmosphere of the bazaar began to take shape in this market. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis.